for you who saw me before I knew who I'd be. What I have around me means nothing to me if I can't share it with you. Walking through all the dust,
हेडलोस माफ करो डिनर कर रहा था Hello everybody. बीसी तो श्रीमेंडू हुआ तो फिर से आ गया भाई ऑक्सी बड़ा होते जा रहा है बे Binks guys एक मिनट रुक जाओ मैं बस चाय लेके आया ठीक है
that's been developing between G2 Esports and Cloud9. C9 getting knocked out of the playoffs courtesy of G2, and G2 being the team with the deepest run of any America's team in Shanghai, and yet still the respect not given to them. Feeling like they were robbed of that opportunity, C9. G2 didn't deserve it. You heard it in the interview beforehand. What Oxy was saying.
But it's part of the fact that Cloud9 had such a good regular season and G2 had a lackluster regular season.
Very true.
So that win that G2 got catapulted them to that result, and I think that's why Cloud9 doubt them so much, because they believe they could have beaten them in that situation and been them going to Shanghai.
Yeah, Mel, I know you've been in many rivalries in your career as well. How does it feel when you're
not rivalries, bro? She's been mopping them up.
Very
not
true.
Rivalries.
It's very true. I'm just saying you have been. That being said, how do you go into a game like this, knowing that you want to pick up this win, right? Just because you want it.
Okay, I'm thinking about it from what we just said. From C9's perspective, they're kind of like not writing off G2, obviously joking partially that they fluked, quote unquote. But I think it might be kind of a miss there, like on the approach from Cloud9. I feel like Cloud9 actually thrives when people doubt them. When they're the ones that are the underdogs, and people constantly doubt them. Because what did we do during the entire regular season? Doubt them. And what did they do? They won most of their games.
Yeah.
And although they did flop in playoffs, as we keep saying, I feel like they're in a better position if they're the ones that are in the underdog position. So I feel like that's a bit of a miss from them.
Yeah. Interesting situations that we find here between these two teams, Wyatt, but there's certainly going to be a lot of unique ideas on the server here, especially from the Cloud9 camp, given the time that they've had.
We're headed on over to Ascent, where Cloud9 in stage 1 really struggled. That was not a good map for them. They banned out Bind, which has been excellent for G2, so that makes sense. Let's see, though, if there's going to be anything new. It looked like there was a neon, and there it is.
There is
but
a
it's
neon.
going to be from the side of G2, the team that has theoretically had less time to practice with it.
Bro, I will pop off if this is like the Icy era, him on neon. We find out he's a god, a movement god. I'm all in.
Yeah, I mean, I need to figure out what the comp is around it, though. I think the synergies are something that people aren't really working out this early in the season yet, and we'll get there as time goes on, but Ascent's an interesting one. Is it just a Jet for a neon type of replacement? And if so, I'm not sure if I love it that much.
Does that go 1-to-1? Do you feel like that transitions in well, Jet for neon? Or?
No, that's what I'm saying. I think you need to maybe have a breach or something else, which has been experimented on the past on this map. So we'll see. I'm not going to say I hate it, but I'm not necessarily seeing
And then by the end of it, all the agents get selected. Ball, I hate it. All right, and we got the Jet for C9. Oxy on his, pretty much the agent that he's just been popping off with. That raise. No reason for them to change anything up, especially on Ascent.
No, it looks like they're...
Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it looks like they're just headed to the standard stuff.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. Should I say it for you? No deadlock?
Probably not. I know, which is disappointing. Yeah. I hope Moose at least plays Cypher. I love his gameplay on that agent. He is so talented on it.
And that's KO for Jonah P, so.
Interesting. So no breach, like you said. I'm in the same boat as you, though, Bala. I feel like the breach pairing with Neon makes so much sense. And I feel like in a map that is so off-dominant, like Ascent, I don't know how Neon's really going to fit into this. It feels like they're going to have to play something completely different than what we're used to.
I'm ready to see some deep pop flashes for that Neon, some tile split kind of play, just ending down mid, running fast.
Yeah, this is going to be exciting. Let's go ahead and get this grudge match
Hold
underway,
on,
shall we?
let's go.
And send it over to your casters for the call. It's Bren and Soicho.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, let's get to it. I mean, Cloud9 versus G2, bound to be a banger, man. It's a weird one in terms of the expectations.
Tradition this
The
game,
best kind of
C9
G2,
2-0.
right? Because in my mind, I think of G2, I think of them as being like one of the most consistent teams that we've got in Americas.
Yeah.
And Cloud9 seem to be the ones that fluctuate the most. You know, they have high peaks, but they have low lows sometimes.
Yeah.
But the standings...
Yeah, what are the standings?
The standings are 5-1 for Cloud9 and 3-3 for G2. So it's almost the opposite, right? It's painting a different picture for us. But we'll see how this plays out. Cloud9 are an interesting team. They could definitely play up to a very high peak.
I'm interested to see what G2 will
Guys,
be cooking.
26
Like Tedesco saying,
match
not very much
yeah?
time, but I think we're going to see a lot of KO flashes through the neon wall. And so that's what I'm paying attention to here. No wall being bought, though, on this pistol round strategy. So just looking to try to send it. And poor Rooney on the other side.
Yeah. Isolated, pretty alone here. It's only going to have the marketplace to really...
Congrats,
help him
G2.
out.
Language.
Onto Oxy.
Good nanoswarm, though.
Yeah,
तो जगह हुआ है, मैं हमेशा जगह हुआ रहता
G2.
हूँ.
Yeah, they haven't used a huge amount of their utility, though. Still, fragment grenade, 2 flashes, paranoia. You know, they just used recon and what, like a slide, basically.
भाई सब लोग ने चालू तो किया है बे
causing
नियॉन
C9 to
आईएसओ
panic
अपने
just a
अपने कॉम
little
में
at the
इतना
start there,
जल्दी
has
हो गई
given them that utility advantage.
इतना 2 हफ्ता मिला था
And
वो लोग को
G2 so happy to slow it down. In the middle of rounds, at the start of rounds, at the end of rounds, anytime, slow it down.
They are definitely one of our most slow-paced
Hello,
teams.
Gulray.
I like to refer to that as cerebral, Brett.
Cerebral, sure.
Yeah, it's like when the travel agent sells you a cozy
भाई
apartment.
पूरा ब्लाइंड में
to go
घुसा था
and
ये
stay in.
Yeah, some people could also call it quite slow in terms of the gameplay, but this is anything but it. Quite
Failed
explosive
these,
straight
right?
through, and now essentially the round wrapped up. Only 2 players left standing. Leaf got main control.
कैसा ना 4 सेकंड के लिए साउंड कट डाउन करके पट से एग्जीक्यूट करते
Essentially, Rap's going to take a miracle. Dart nowhere near to coming back onto online. And the post-plant setup, you can expect discipline in spades from this G2 team. As soon as one player takes a contact, it's heroics from Moose, but nothing past that point.
Really
That's a pistol round earned for G2.
Showcasing there
पहली
in
बार
just
अच्छे
the
से level
first
है,
round
excuse me.
all of the strengths that G2 have used to become the best performing America's team of recent times, specifically with that run through Shanghai. Only lost
भाई कुछ
to the
नहीं
2 teams that were
एक
in
बार
the
ऑक्सी
final.
मारना चालू करेगा G2 भूल जाएंगे लोग
Happy to slow things down, make it very difficult for Cloud9 to figure out where they were going. The execute when it actually comes through is very nice with good utility.
भाई stream
and then
sniper है
such
बे caster.
discipline in post-games
हाँ?
to make sure they convert their advantages.
Patch.
It's picture perfect. It's not necessarily super flashy. You're going to get that from Oxy on the other side of things as he tries to battle through. But G2 have got a
अच्छा
lot of
गावा
good qualities.
15 बंदे सप्रेस होंगे
They certainly do. That's another thing that we're going to be keeping an eye on, I think, over the course of this series is, you know, the stylistic differences. We're in a new patch and meta. It's shifted a lot of things in different directions. Duelists are coming more into focus. Is it more individualistic? Who really knows? But could be prime for Oxy to really do some work. Not on this round necessarily, unless he gets lucky with the right click. Still has that dash active, but it's going to be fading away.
Yeah, brutal actually. Thought that was going to be the time that
भी जाएंगे लग
G2
रहा है
chose. And they're
Neon
having to
भी
go
है
back over towards where Leaf is playing.
just
There is an
think
opportunity for Oxy
4
and Valenti to
second
go
on
for a
Neon
peek, but
full
it's
W
really just
होएगा
all classics on the other side.
4
C9
second
would
नहीं
have
तो
to get
कोई ना
very
कोई
lucky
रहेगा
with the read on exactly where G2
वो
are
लोग वैसे
ending,
भी 5
and yeah,
neon
4
कॉम
players
खेलते
caught in
बे
that.
पेयरिंग
You're just going to
वाले
be sending it to B.
Placing swarm grenade.
G2 should want nothing to do with it. 40 seconds left.
वो लोग ने डाउट
I
कर
think
दिया गया
these are the only
rotations
moments
नहीं
where
है
G2 look like they're seriously can be caught in
Yeah.
trouble is when
है
they allow
ही
the
नहीं
time to tick
rotation.
down and they're heading into a stack. But that's
Doubt
not the
कर
case
लिया
here,
वो लोग ने।
obviously. They know from that 0 point that most of C9 were
हो
on the other
सकता
side.
है
But
राहुल भाई
you
जाएंगे
know,
तो
sometimes the
$5
time can work against them when Valorant likes to call these
Oh, yeah.
slow-paced pauses in the round. And that's where Vanity's going to be trying to get the edge, is figuring out, can you get the read on where Valent's trying to
ये लोग
end
स्पेस नहीं दे सकते ये लोग
before
मिड फाइट
G2 are
करेंगे
set
लोग
up
अभी
to go for it?
It's going to be a very standard, quite slow ending to this round as well.
Yes.
Cloud9 just going to be waiting this one out for the spike. See if some kills get hunted.
I mean, Trent's actually only 3 away from getting his ult online as well, so they're definitely going to try and fight this.
They
भाई
could press forwards.
क्या गुस्सा
2 remaining kills. Trent's going to go for it.
Leaf steals the
बेस
final
में
one.
घुस के
Alright,
मारा
well,
बे
Didn't need that Hunter's Fury online anyway.
Jatin bhai, thank you for the
And heading into a
20.
bonus, I would imagine that G2 are going to have some set strat here.
क्या मतलब Binks
Mel
सिर्फ
broke
super
one
chat पढ़ता
down.
सब chat
Beautiful Ascent round that we saw earlier. You can't do the same thing again because that involved an updraft dash onto site.
वो लोग
You can do
change करते
something
रहेंगे रे
similar.
रुद्रा.
There are neon walls that you could throw through the windows in B main. Neon wall exec into
ये
A
teams के
is
नीचे
very strong as
5-1-3
well.
क्या है ये split
And
के
you never
matches
really
है
know where
कितना
the Neon's
जीता वो
going to
लोग
pop out with a KO
split में.
flash. So I'm expecting that G2 will have a lot of those kind of setups ready to go. But as is always the case with Valorant, he likes to do a little bit of
अभी
defaulting
तक दोनों का
before he
6
picks an
matches हो गया, एक 5-1
Oh, and this is
जीता है
fast,
और एक
actually.
3-3.
Yeah, Ice is already straight up through into the connector, but he stuns himself up and flashed up. It's the underhanded just from
Thoda
Zephyr.
afraid of
Nanoswarm's going to go flying forwards just to the backside of Jenny, but it's a stalwart defense currently by Cloud9, and they are dominating
By
every
sexy
single
pop flash.
position.
Sexy pop flash. क्या dodge भी किया बे
Clean up
उसने.
from C9, but the timing on that didn't quite work for G2 at all. Icy's going alone from tiles, throws the wall so he can't get punished through mid, which is where Oxy was looking to try to take the fight. But he's pinching the players over by tree. Way
अच्छा था
before
लेकिन
the
stun
A-main
थोड़ा
players
सा.
are ready. You know, Zephyr's not under pressure there from anybody trying to get into sight. The execute is not really coming. If you're going to run a strat like that where everything feels
क्या
super
fast
heavy
kill है
from
ना
the
बे?
neon through tree, it's got to play your players in from A main.
It's a little bit disjointed, but have a buy round on either side. It was just a bonus for G2.
They're looking to try to punish Rooney there. Recon up top, seeing if they can counter spam. There was a lot more Odin usage towards the end of stage 1 in Americas.
भाई
The
A से
kind of
line पे
playoffs
B
and
पे क्यों का.
The teams when they
मेरे
went
दोस्त
on to
वीर को बोलो
Shanghai,
ऑपरेटर चलाना बंद कर दे. वीर भाई फेंक दो ऑपरेटर.
makes it more difficult to go and take that B main control.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be cautious from G2, as always.
And they're doing a great job with their util of pushing Oxy back. That was one of the things that they did a great job of the last time that these two teams met.
Punishing him as well.
Yeah, he still actually found a lot of value on defense. He had a over 1 rating on defense, but on the attack side,
भाई
when Oxy was
बहुत
trying to
util
entry, he was
space किया
held
बे.
in
भाई वो लोग हिले
check
नहीं.
heavily.
How's he going to be
कोई
missing the
rotate
dash for this
नहीं
one?
किया.
They can hear all of these bodies in front of him with the bunny hop in. Icy just barely going down. The trade was online, and that was the point of it. Moose is tucked, very committed into this
Oh,
position
दो मार
again.
सकता
It's a
था,
little bit
दो मार
labored,
सकता था.
a little bit messy. Still towards the back of the side is Rooney. Left to anchor now. Players trying to get themselves in. A supportive flash
By
from
Jord.
long distance. That's Zephyr helping him out.
Sexy blind.
Still good enough, but it's, again, just even exchanges almost. Trent now left in this 1v2. Plant has to commit it. Only 13 seconds left. No players pushing his position just yet. Doesn't really have any util either, and he's got to try and at least win out this fight. But it's a 1v2, and ran down and chased down by the bullets.
जीत गया बे
Side by
C9.
side, Cloud9, and clean that one up, bringing it 2-2.
C9
To pick a
जीत
side
बा.
there to go to try to fight in the 1v2, really. It was either that or just cowering back site and try to pick them off. Tries to take a time in,
इस
hoping that
बाउंडर
Vanity
पे
and Zephyr
कैसे
are going to be
aim
scared and
करेंगे
land at that
हार्ड
point in
एमर्स
time,
नहीं
but
कर
alas,
सकते.
not the case.
उसने मारा वही
So
बड़ी
G2
बात है.
giving up 2 there. And this
वहाँ पे
fake
नियन
over
मारा
towards
वही बड़ी
tree
बात है भाई.
didn't really pull too many people away. One of the things that you could find big value out of with the Neon, because you can fake on one part of the map and then very quickly be on the other.
We want the round, baby. That's all that matters. Yo, what skin you want? No.
He's talking about skins.
अबे किसको
Yeah,
जिंक्स
I
में
mean,
कुछ
that
नहीं. C9 जीतेगा.
just captures the personality, I think, of Cloud9 pretty adequately.
Yeah, it really does. So C9
Oh,
are doing a lot
market
of flood
खाली है,
defending
पता है
here. That's
उनको.
another thing to keep an eye on. The main way that they're trying to get back into sites is not by running any set retake. Rough timing there, actually, from Oxy. I think he had that one dead to rights if he'd stayed on the angle.
Yeah.
But C9 have now
Close
got
था बे.
Operator online, Odin online. Economy still has a buffer on most of the people. Rooney and Zephyr with like 5k in the economy.
Yeah.
Things are looking great here for
Things
the
पे
defenders.
Ascent joined it cup
G2, big hill to get back up.
Exactly. With Oxy having this operator as well, good time to highlight that. Something that Mel mentioned, when you're opting in for the Neon, experimentation on Ascent, it's a very op-heavy map. A lot of defensive protocols and setups rely on your jet getting value with that one. You can't really, I mean, you can put an op in the
सिर्फ
Neon's
किल
hands,
जाए.
but
क्यों बहुत दूर है
Wow,
ब्लाइंड
this
करने
move's
के
gonna
लिए
be
भी.
under a tremendous amount of pressure, but can he really stand up to the
अच्छा
challenge? Yes, he can.
गावात.
Weaponry not ideal Off for G2, still going to be jumping her way into the side, blinded up. The flashes, supported util, quite working out in their favor. Jonah P cleaned up. Tethered into this site position now, and Leaf's going to have to go walkabouts really and make some magic happen.
Remember, Trent pushed previously, so C9 just waiting, trying to play cautious.
And spam, paranoia is good.
By sexy blind, bro. Fuck.
Almost everybody, Valen. It's left now. 1v3. Only the one, and there's that Odin. Putting in the work.
Just turns the wall.
Bro, you zombie?
C9,
Ek match hai kya?
defensive protocol over towards B when Moose is just in back sight alone.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to be the anchor there that the rest can flood defend off the back of. Did eventually end up getting overwhelmed. Maybe with rifles online, that's something that G2 can exploit. But there's constant flashes coming over the top from Zephyr. From
The support of util, man, is top notch right now.
But I think Valen's smart enough to read into the way that G2 are playing. The way that Cloud9 are playing. You know, if you run a B exec and then you try to actually push spawn on that timing as Zephyr would be trying to flash, there's some ways that you can mix things up. But I think this is just going to be a big ult round. You know, it might even be the same protocol that Mel was highlighting. 0 point towards the back and see if Trent can get a kill with it.
We'll see. Plenty available to them. Just a slide from Icy. Gets himself into it.
Okay. Fast.
All the way up cap.
That had to be a ridiculous shot, I think, just as the smoke was blooming. Still, this lockdown is going to be placed down towards the feet. Got to be respected now by Cloud9.
By heavy Odin hone wala abhi.
Ult, I believe, cancelled there by Valen. He was trying to get himself into the side. Zephyr not being cleared off this angle. G2 really struggling to even find themselves a foothold to even get past the initial choke point. All the spam, I think, that was just being provided from the Odins.
Good utility now, though, to push back any of those defenders. Should allow G2 access to the site.
Barely in. Struggling, waiting for the smokes to come back up. At least one of them to block it, but now they can finally move forwards. Cloud9, lockdown of their own being used. Doesn't actually cover the whole section of the site, but his post plant is dying right now from G2. Hunter's Fury out for a despawn. Just to buy them a bit of space and time to work with. Here's a kill. Potentially a second time. Definitely softening up a lot of these players here. Now G2 will have to pave their way out of it. And how can you do it? The spam from all these angles again. The post plant is not ideal. Crowd collected into the corner. Not too much more you can play for, but a shot missed and whiffed there from Icy. A follow-up just not coming through from Zephyr. It's a 2v2. Damage being done, but he just can't find these kills, these last few players, and it's left up to Rooney. Just with the Odin. Has to get out of secondary, but too slow with it, man.
Felt like C9 should have been able to get into that one.
Yeah.
It's a nice reactive ultimate from Trent.
Bhai, kya
But when all
lucky hai
things
bhi wahan pe
settled,
Neon
when
ne
all the
mara.
ults were used, the C9
Ek
did
hit
not
ka
have
tha.
to worry about B main. They knew that all
Naam
of the
ke
players
niche
were
kya hai wo
forwards.
split
They
ke
already
matches.
had kind
Split
of the
mein
picks
kitne
and the
matches hue?
players shoved into spots. Look, they're in a 4v3 at this point in the round.
Imagine Prime, Shroud
Train
and
comes out
Oxy
and Icy
incident.
on super weak health manages to pick up 2 in a very pressured position. Doing a good job. Those are the kind of spots, actually, where I would normally expect C9 to have an advantage. This is the A split strat. This is what Icy did last time when they went for that full A crunch. But last time, Icy just ran straight in, stunned, and ended up going in a little too early. This time, it's part of a fake, a default for a bit of mid control. Think about that wall. It actually lets you get really close to Oxy if he was AWPing.
Yeah. You should cover as well from any flashes or darts. There is some mid-aggression on display by Cloud9.
Oxy's actually looking for a fight through B main.
भाई ए जाएंगे
Got
लोग
that blade
लेकिन
storm popped.
वो सब
And
utils
Leaf.
तोड़ पाएंगे क्या?
It's now his job to try to... Oh, they were thinking about going and taking some B main control, but
Definitely were.
opted not to go into it. Someone cancelled the call.
वो लोग suppress के लिए रुके शायद. Tree suppress आने वाला है
So
क्या?
again, it's a cautious tale here by G2. Nothing too eager at the beginning.
Yeah, and the fact that they're not taking B main control, I think, indicates this is almost certainly ending A. And that's what Rooney's thinking right now.
मेरे को भी लग रहा है.
I think it's just a fake, though.
Okay.
And look, Oxy's ready. He knows it's a fake.
And it's going to be catching the spike, potentially, with this kill.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, dropped out.
What
It's
the
a nightmare
fuck?
scenario. But Oxy,
किससे ने मारा वाले ने?
it's known for the game sense. Well, not quite a game sense, but a mechanical ability still this time. He has single-handedly won them this, surely.
I mean, it's 50. Yeah, he must have done. There's no way that they can win this round.
They have to recover the spike, and there's absolutely no chance of it, man. Oxy, he can just
Bro,
play his
what
timing.
the
Look at this guy.
fuck?
Working him in the neutral. 4 on it. Can.
Bro,
Claim
what
the
the
ace.
fuck?
And Rooney,
Akile
he
ne
just
round
wins the round by
nikala.
sitting back in pizza.
Yeah, enough's been done there.
Yeah, good work. The time very much going against G2. They actually got a lot of value out of the push through into A. They just didn't have the spike, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
I think that's
The
a massive
fuck?
oversight, though, from G2. You know that you don't have B main control. That's Leaf was going in that direction. They didn't want to take the risk of challenging Oxy, which, fair enough, this guy's a beast. But as soon as the turret goes down over towards B main, you have to anticipate that even if he's not pushing out to get kills, he's pushing out to get info and knows that it's an
Tinto,
ace.
yeah,
play.
ace
These are the
milta
kind
nahi
of things
karke.
that VALORANT should be able to recognize. Here's that wall again.
Yeah, same strategy, just trying to deny this one. Judge in play from Vanity. Oxy, operator! He nails a shot. Easy as.
भाई ये बंदा है बे.
Not too much danger left into
Bye.
this round, really, for G2 to work with.
Unbelievable bench shoot. भाई ये बंदा
Of
है बे.
course.
इसका
Taking
गेम देख के
liberties.
स्माइल आएगा बे.
Slow walk up mid. You can hear the footsteps near Valorant.
Simply no need to do this in a
Yeah,
5v2, but you know, Oxy's going to do what Oxy's going to do. He's getting good information for the team, but I think they had a pretty good understanding that everyone was around there anyway. Vanity cleans up with 3.
That's so silly.
गलत
don't
ना.
think
इसका
Vanity
कॉन्फिडेंस
meant
की
to
टीम
miss the
रहता है ना
one-way
उसके
in aim.
आसपास.
Maybe he's just Giga Brain there and deliberately threw the smoke on the floor so that he gets spam into. But either way, C9 pretty easily wrap up another anti-eco.
Then
G2's
qualifications
economy has been a
मेरे
massive
बिल्कुल
problem
पता
for
नहीं
them in this
मेरे को.
attack half. Broadly speaking, because they lost rounds 3 and 4. They gave away
भाई
the bonus
क्या
without really
मारा.
doing too much damage, and then lost very pivotal rifle rounds.
Yeah.
So plenty of these rounds that C9 have got online have been simple for them because they have big rifle advantages. And the Cloud9 economy pretty much hasn't been touched this entire time.
They gave him
They're
the
gonna be able
freedom
to
to
buy out
do
the
it,
rest of
and
the
that's
half, even if
why
they were
I
losing,
love
would imagine.
about
It's
Cine.
flourishing at
It's
this
not
point.
just about
Forcing
freedom.
the timeout from G2.
उसके पीछे
Yeah, and I
यूपीज
think
रहता है, उसके
really the
पीछे
big
लोग
issue
रहते
here
हैं.
is
मतलब
Oxy.
एमिन
He's
में वो
running around the map.
जो
He's
स्पेस लिया वो
finding-
लिया करके
even
वो
if
ए
he's
शॉट
not
पिक किया.
finding all of the kills, he's still finding opportunities to disrespect the
ऐसा
presence that
इन
G2
केस
puts
वो
around
अगर
the map.
मरेगा भी ना तो भी
A lot of
एमिन
people might be
कंट्रोल है
scared to take
अपने
that
पास.
extra peek.
तो
Not
रीटेक
Oxy,
में वो
and
लोग
when he
खेल
does take
सकते
the
हैं.
extra peek, he's either going to
ये
take
दो
a
बंदे
duel,
एमिन में.
or he's going to realize there's no one there, and that gives his
बहुत
RGL more
छोटा-छोटा
information
माइक्रो
about
चीज़ है,
where
लेकिन
Valen is actually trying to end. So
अगर
you
कोई
get
मरेगा
huge
तो भी
amounts of
ऐसा
value if you have
इतना
the
बड़ा डेफिसिट नहीं रहेगा. मतलब तुम
confidence
लोग
to
वो
just
इन्फो के
take
साथ
those
और
more
इन्फो के
aggressive
अराउंड खेल
positions.
सकते हो.
And for G2, they've got to punish that. No two ways around it. Now, I
इस बार
see
3
no
स्ट्रीम्स
weapon
हार्ड वर्क ओपन
should
लव
indicate
यू.
that this is a fast piece. Some kind of B split through market, perhaps?
Yeah, surely with the ult in
अभी
his back
केओ
pocket.
आके रहना, केओ सप्रेस
We'll see.
मारेगा और पीछे चला जाएगा. और
Timeline
सप्रेस
making
नहीं
those
तो
adjustments
शायद
though.
वाइन
Oxy's
जा
gonna be
सकता है लेकिन पीछे
popping
जाएगा.
straight through. Odin to set him up and support him onto
दो
that
shot.
line aside angle. Does he anticipate
Aim
this?
into
though?
alarm
Leaf is going to be
button.
tucked into that corner.
They're trying to bait
छोटा-छोटा चीज़ है.
Oxy into over pushing.
They really are. It's pressed, can't find it. Icy, bit of a fake in terms of the presence, what they're going for here. Trying to see if they can pull
Okay,
plays
दोनों
over
मर
today.
गए.
But the rest of
Good
them
shot,
just get into the B site.
It's kind of a nice fake there, actually. It accomplishes what they wanted, but Icy and Jonah P didn't get anything on the other side. They sold it, but they would have been hoping for at least a kill.
अभी बी जा रहे हैं लेकिन प्रॉब्लम पता क्या है?
This is going to be a
ओमेन का ब्लाइंड है,
very difficult post.
रिकॉन
Yeah,
है
really is.
और
They don't have
केओ
B
का दो
control.
ब्लाइंड है.
G2 going to be
There
struggling
is
with this
no
one.
way अगर वो लोग ने एग्रेसिव फाइट लिया तो वो लोग जीत सकते
Numbers
हैं.
advantage, health advantage. Potentially win this just by spamming. It's G2 that really need to get proactive. There's one at least for their troubles. Leaf just finds it, backs away. Dart reveals it. Surely spammable again. He covers the angle. The swing is immaculate.
By sexy.
Rooney. How does it come down to this? Low enough.
Hey,
Dart
G2
just needs
भी
to be
है
dodged
दिमाग
and
वाला.
avoided. Shot
हाँ?
darts flying forwards, but already with the time ticking, he realizes it.
दो बंदे
Job
लेन
started,
एग्रेसिव
it's
जाके
finished.
फाइट ले, एक को मारा,
Couple chances
ओमेन ने
into this
ब्लाइंड
one.
करके सिटी रोक
Play for the
दिया.
exits though. He knows that money is a potential problem.
By
but do they
crazy
keep
गेला
them?
है
Full
3v4.
attack, potentially slowing them down. No,
Crazy
everybody gets
गेला
away
है
with a rifle. So
3v4.
G2 Honestly, bailing themselves out of that spot, that was a tricky scenario.
Yeah, Jinx बराबर
What
तो बोला.
teamwork though. A
वो लोग साइड के
fantastic
अंदर में
swing
बैठे थे. वो
timing
लोग
from
लेने आ गए थे
Leaf.
दोनों.
They couldn't break the recon dart, and Valen was dead to right, stuck behind those boxes. Leaf swings, knowing that somebody's going to get aggressive.
वो लोग ने देखो 3-4 कैसे खेले. ये देखो.
And all
दो
of this
बंदे
built
लेन.
off the back of a really nice call from Valen.
जैसे ये लोग लड़ा
Go for what
सिटी
looks
ब्लाइंड
like
दिया.
a very fast A split to bait out an aggressive play from Oxy. Oxy even gets tagged
ये
with the
लोग
very
सिर्फ पीछे
end
बैठे रहते.
of
100 तक
Jonathan's
नहीं
null
जीतते थे
command.
बे.
And they pick up the kill on the aggressive star opper from C9. Oxy now might be conditioned to take fewer risks, but we're 10 seconds in and he's pushing onto B main, so there you go.
Boosted commit as well. Then Anna Swarm breaks the turret, so Oxy could take a peek if he wanted to.
उसने टरेट वापस क्यों नहीं लिया लेकिन?
Contact. Doesn't need to worry about a multitude of angles. You can see Leaf is just ADS'd up.
ये लिया था.
Stay active.
जल्दी आया टरेट. ना?
Locking in just in case, but pulled back the turret, so he got to at least back online nice and early. It's going to be covering that B possibility. And a setup now
Lineup
looking
दिखा?
like leaning over towards A from G2. Got the spike in that position.
Both teams so aware of all the little meta nuances between the fight over the B main angles.
No setting go Rex.
But as you said, it looks like it's heading over towards A.
खरीदा तूने?
Rooney, I wonder whether he just rips
There?
ult. He's in a fairly nice spot to try to ult the choke point.
Paranoia wall. Dart. Abundance of utility going to be used to
आराम
try and
से,
take this
आराम से,
one.
गिर मत
Valen
जाना.
even with the commit silver, the dart not accounted for. That was across the map. Rooney does let it rip now.
Padi,
Hunter's Fury,
Padi.
couple of tags. No damage though. Surely the
Sexy
kills.
blind.
Sepper capitalizing off the chaos, pushing the advantage entirely.
Sexy blind.
And Leafs alone. Once more in this 1v3 with no time to work with. A tap. See if he gets an easy fight. Not given. Cloud9. They know that they just have to play the slightest amount of discipline and already to rounds one. No more time for the plan. And Oxy knows it.
भाई क्या मारा भी लेकिन
Risks
लीफ
the
ने.
ult. Moose could have got the pick up, but he ends it in style. That's another C9 flood defend that's really nicely coordinated. Their utility's perfect. The paranoia catches
5133 mentioned on top. Those are the split 2 matches.
Recon from Rooney finds
Not
value.
split 2,
The ult
split
finds
1 and
value.
2.
You know,
वो लोग ने
all of
कितने
these G2
matches
players
खेले
are so
और क्या score है?
distracted, getting caught by spam and the ult. Really well defended. I think both teams are playing a good game so far. And 4 would be considered fairly standard.
7-5 जा सकता है, close है.
I mean, considering how hard it's been for G2.
Yeah, it's not great when you've won pistol, of course, only getting 4, but it'll do at a pinch.
And Oxy, he will not be denied this angle. Look at this guy. There's no way you're peeking that again. Immediately with a shorty out, anticipating there could be that punish.
You should run.
Another swing, locked down. Now going to be used. Perched up as well. Up onto the wall just in case there's some util flying forwards to deny that one. Oxy, you're really getting ahead of yourself here, son.
What the
Surely the
fuck?
other trapped to take around the corner. And the pincer comes through eventually, but Sepper once more there to cover. Round to the side, loads of damage done.
भाई sexy blind
Softened up
वापस.
Valen, leaving it to a 2v4 for G2. How are you going to dig yourself out of this one? Really not. Vanity making sure he holds this one. The darts!
भाई
Quite tight here.
उल्लू बना है
Still distracted
बे.
him.
Exactly. That's all it took.
रिकॉन
Valen,
उसके स्मोक के वजह से नहीं मार पाया
that
वो.
could be enough. Still not gone online in the hands of Trent, but he's actually managed to find that off. Salvaged it in the midst of it. Closes the door in their faces. Now potentially a safe plan, but no, they want to push forwards. Moose takes the fight
Heavy.
straight to the brain. One bullet's all it takes. Valen, he's just looking for another one, but already revealing that spot and position.
Heavy बे.
7 rounds
भाई
out for
ऑक्सी
Cloud9.
क्या है बे? पागल इंसान है बे.
And again, showing that these protocols look lovely on the defense side. Notice how it's somebody else that breaks the door to allow Moose through. He's not wasting his own bullets and having to reload. He's got a teammate there that does it for him, allows him to swing through very quickly. But that was a bit of an eco round for G2, and so all the focus is going to be on whether this is 8-4 or 7-5 at the half. It makes a big difference on Ascent, and I think
बहुत
G2 can go
ambitious
for more
side है
pump
Oxy
fakes.
का.
When you see that
मारा
C9
तो
are
मारा,
flood
नहीं
defending
मारा तो
like
नहीं
this,
मारा.
try
उसको
to
मारने
bait
तो
the
फिर
flood
में
out
delay
and
हो
punish
जाएगा.
it, rather than committing fully to the site. I think that's what I'd like to see Valen call in this final round.
This time, oh man.
What a shot.
Yeah, what a shot, Oxy.
भाई
Quick with the reactions.
मेरे
To
जैसा.
shut that one down. With Icy missing now, G2 might struggle to get the
और क्या
initiation
मारा बे.
factor going forward and wallbang angles. This is just a fundamental understanding of how this map is being played.
भाई ये नया देखा.
Constantly punishing the
ये
twists
नया
and turns
देखा.
of G2, man.
ये दिमाग का बोचड़ा वाला spam है. Lane वाला.
Happy just to be
Straight
in
line
the
में
5v3.
spam.
That's a great punish off the drone.
Yeah, knowing that spot and potential positioning. Trent, any sort of damage done? Not quite, no kills, yeah. Still, Leaf is holding it down towards the main angle. He's the one who really has to do something about this. Already the nade being committed up onto lane! Zeppelins in his face, just with the rifle. Leaf with a counter spam in play. He knows he needs to do it for Trent to at least allow him to stay alive, but it's not possible. Toppled and falls already, and the round crumbles. Just like that, up to 8 now for Cloud9.
यहाँ भी spam होता है. भाई sexy था वे.
Finish, nothing to scoff at.
No, solid for both teams, to be honest. G2
आप दोनों बहुत अच्छे
wanted
लगते हैं
a lot
साथ में,
more,
इसलिए शादी
but
किया.
C9's defense looked really good. They had the Op and the Odin online the entire time, with Oxy and Rooney providing big value from both of those guns. And great protocols on when to flood, when to set retake, and how to support each other.
Question है, they
G2
this soft drinks in live audience was
not
14,000.
happy but content with 4, but 2 of those
At
came
least
off the back
Korea
of
वाले में
the
नहीं
pistol,
था.
so they really need both to have any chance of winning Ascent, I think.
हाँ?
Right now, it's
No,
Cloud9 just feeling
US
really
is
empowered, I
better
think,
than
leading the charge. And earlier we heard from Zeppa about his thoughts on Cloud9's performance, all about stage 1.
बॉटल दे दिया वहाँ पे फेंकने लगे लोग
नहीं, they'll give it
Stage
the
1.
paper cup.
हाँ तो वो भी फेंकते
I mean,
लोग
and win as good as you
पागल
can. I
है.
guess we
वहाँ
went
पे
5-1.
है
Could have gone
security.
6-0.
कोरिया में इतना था.
It definitely happened again where we didn't perform in playoffs, but you know, it kind of sucks because like the first time, like last season, the excuse was inexperience. We got so close, didn't qualify. Coming into this season with like 2 new players, yeah, Rooney came back. Plus Moose,
Spam
so
तो
it's like
सिर्फ
we kind of had
and
to
lobby
start
वाले
from
करते
scratch,
हैं.
but we played
Language.
great in the regular seasons, and the concern was like, you know, like, hopefully we can do it through playoffs. Didn't happen, but hopefully it happens now.
भाई singles को बुरा लगता है. Team volume बढ़ा.
C9 are an unusual team. Their record is so good from the regular
बराबर है.
season, 5-1. But
Chat
they
like
did
कर
flop
दो.
in playoffs.
1000 likes कर
They've
दो.
almost got themselves into stage 2 playoffs. They only need another win or
Hey,
2.
मैंने कभी
But
चाय
they've
पी
got to
रहा हूँ,
perform when it
dinner
matters.
किया है.
Their match
बहुत
record
से
over the
मत
course of the year is 6-4,
मैं
fairly
पता है
positive,
बेटे.
but they have a negative map win rate over the course of the year, despite being 5-1.
Yeah, hate खराब
And
करता है,
their
kick
round
करता है.
differential is -3
मेरे को
in
नहीं
the
चाहिए.
year in Americas.
That's taken into account the playoffs, kickoff,
Playoffs
everything,
and kickoff.
and the regular season.
And yeah, so the regular season where maybe you could argue the stakes are a little lower and they were only playing against winless teams.
Like Bancha Hajmola plus
They,
something.
or rather, they only won against
Ganda.
winless teams. They, you know, when the stakes were lower like that, C9 were finding good opportunities to get
Yeah,
wins on the
Hajmola
board.
and Wo.
Did a great job at it. But then in a more like tournament format or performing in
Avla,
playoffs,
क्या है वो?
they couldn't quite get it
Black
together.
color का. Glove.
And it slipped away from them. Whereas G2, complete opposite. I mean, we don't think of their record as being particularly good. They're a 3-3 team, I think it is, throughout the regular season, but they're plus 38 round differential in America.
Yeah, they've stepped up to the challenge.
Way better in terms of how they perform
Lights
from a
नहीं हुए,
round-to-round basis. It
हजार
just isn't
हो,
reflected in
यार वो
their
चैंपियंस में
stage
4
one
टीम कैसे
results.
सिलेक्शन हो रहा है? चैंपियनशिप पॉइंट्स से.
And I
For
think
now,
this is still super even.
अभी ये गेम्स खेलेंगे
could be
स्प्लिट
anyone's
2.
game, just depending
प्लेऑफ में
on this
क्वालीफाई होंगे,
pistol
प्लेऑफ के
round,
मैचेस
that's
खेलेंगे.
forwards.
जितना जीतेंगे
Up
उतना
and out
पॉइंट्स
of it,
मिलेंगे.
man. Just trying to weave your way past this. I see. Final ball will do that.
ये ज्यादा मार
Three
दिया बे.
piece. Here's as it comes, straight through the choke point.
भाई उसने ज्यादा मार
Everybody
दिया.
falls. That is just over in the blink of an eye.
And a
उसने
necessary
ज़्यादा मार
pistol round
दिया.
for G2 to have some good
लेकिन
hope
में
here,
मजा
because
आया.
their
Thank you,
rifle rounds
दुनिया.
are not really working. I think we're going to see big value out of the stun on defense. I think you're already seeing that from Icy there. But it does come at the cost of not really having the best agent for the operator. And I think the number one thing that people associate with Ascent is having that jet up online. Yeah. And being able to cover mid with it and apply pressure and push out B main and that kind of thing.
अंश ओ अंश दूसरा वेबसाइट पे जा.
C9 looking
Yeah.
to go for a very similar idea, straight again.
नहीं रे, हम लोग कैमरा पे we don't do PDA.
Tagged up at a knife though.
Only
Well, husband and
classics,
wife,
no
उसका
plant
मतलब
down,
ये
no
नहीं.
real, you know, not a huge amount of
On
kills, so
cap.
they're not going for that buy Oxy or Guardian strat.
Keeping it
Part of
safe.
that.
Yeah, we did see a lot of it. Just trying to put all your resources and potential into Oxy.
इंडिया से कब खेलेंगे ऐसा
And why
कोई
not?
T9
He's
को
been a
ग्लोबल
phenomenal
ऑयल
player.
पिलाओ.
I think over the
प्लेयर्स नहीं
course of
रहते
this
यार.
year, has continued to get better as well.
मतलब एक डेढ़
It's
साल
not necessarily that
legit में पूरा
fragging has
मेहनत
gotten
किया
better,
टीम
but
ने
he
तो
makes
players
fewer
अच्छे तो
mistakes than he
खेलेंगे
did.
लेकिन
His game sense is sharpened.
I think
और
he definitely
जाते
has,
हैं वो लोग
yeah.
ऑफर्स
More
आता
scrim
है
time, more
मैं
match
भी उनको
time.
रोक नहीं
He's not
सकता
throwing his life away as much, and he's still getting really big value in rounds.
so it's only good
Of course,
exposure
when you have a player as aggressive as Oxy,
This is
there's
what
always
they
going to be
got
some
control.
overheating involved. It's just part of the play style. But you want to try to minimize it as much as possible and get the big powerful rounds still out of him, and I think they've done a good job of that. I think Vanity is a good caller at getting the most out of a player like him.
I'm speaking of his calling as well. This is an eco round. He's not throwing it away. Just trying to spot out the defensive util, break a lot of
30
it.
seconds left.
Jonas
And over towards there, yeah, hard middle. Here's the rebound though, with the flash, bounding across the wall, stun, good connection.
heavy
Vanity does
ये
pinch them
कैसे
just
यहाँ
from
से
the
आया
side, shot
ओ
to the
तो वहाँ
temple.
से यार
Picks him
टिक
out,
मारा
16 seconds left now. Gonna
Amen
get
से
himself into the
shot.
site. There is one anchoring player, Tvalin, tucked down towards Dice. Only a few seconds remaining here, and
shot
nice and precise to
मैंने तो
finish.
वैंडल जैसे लगा उसका
Threw away
स्टिंगर
the Phantom because he didn't want to give it to them, and they can't find it. They haven't kept the
Why
Phantom
don't you
into
go
the
some
round.
orc for Valo?
That's great from Zephyr. I don't know
मेरा
where he
शेड्यूल
hit
देखा है
it.
ना तूने
What's he done? Put it under the tree or
I'm
something?
not sure.
Where did
Tossed
it
it into the
go?
corner.
Where did
इसको
that
टाइम
gun
नहीं देता
go?
और को कहाँ से टाइम दूँ
तुम्हें क्या लगता है मैं यहाँ
Nice
पे क्यों
idea
बैठी
there towards the end.
तो टाइम नहीं देता लेकिन वो है टाइम नहीं देता तो
The
शॉपिंग कराओ
stun does look
चुपचाप
quite good in that situation. Where did the Phantom go? Where's he throwing it?
Oh, just into the corner.
Just in a blind
समझ रहे हो
spot. That's why
उधर
they
थोड़ा
couldn't
बैलेंस
find
कर
it.
लेता
All
हूँ
right, we're back in though, and the tiles
Oh, it's
crunch.
rapid. Yeah, Tiles Crunch on the cards and already finding value. One more player left to hunt out, sniff out, moves.
फिर भी
Not
क्लियर
long for this
किया
world.
फिर भी बेंच क्लियर
It's the
किया
deck there.
फिर भी क्लियर किया
So
वहाँ
does
पे
Icy.
भाई
It's
जॉनर
gonna be
भी बिग
found.
ब्रेन्स ब्रो
Cloud9 making sure that they slow this one, tempered around in a moment. Hold down to that mid control that they just gained.
वैंडल ही तो थी
They do still
स्टिंगर
have a
थी
player
वो
disadvantage. The bonus round idea from G2.
मुझे
So
भी
far
वैंडल
working
लगा
out.
what the
It's
fuck
about
हाँ ना
how you stick the landing.
It's one of the most classic plays that you could possibly go for on a
Phantom
defensive
Sonic,
bonus
yeah.
round as well. I think something the C9 should have been expecting and had a protocol for. But we were following the Phantom, so we missed it a little bit at the beginning. But I'm glad we solved the mystery.
Jonah P. He's tucked through. That's an underhanded
Like,
flash.
clear
Over just to get them in.
kiya,
And Vanity
be.
just hops onto the head of Jonah P. Back of the site, anchoring, Valin. A lot to be asked of him now. Drops down and he hears that. Knows that Rooney's going to be approaching him. That is absurd. 3 bullets left. Not enough to finish him, but Rooney
या एम था
surely doesn't win this one. 1v2. Overhanded, long range with the artillery. Shocky
Nice
sent
recon.
flying. Recon.
Nice
His
recon.
beautiful spam. Damage doesn't come through. 25 seconds left. Can afford to slow this down. Another tap and run back. 4 bullets. Couple of spams. Exchanging the weaponry for even less bullets.
सब क्लोज था
How does he play this? Once more, doubled up. G2 side by side. Doesn't expect them to become from that
क्लोज
position.
था बे क्लोज था बोनस भी जीत गए
Big round for G2 to get on board. They've won both
कितने years
pistols.
हुए मैंने
Failed to capitalize on the bonus in the first half, but here they get that tiles crunch
Dating को भी
working
5 साल
to
नहीं हुआ।
perfection.
तो
Set
कैसा
themselves
दिमाग
up with
खा
an
रहे हैं 5
enormous
साल से
advantage. Yeah, that full blind straight into Oxy. And Oxy's in a really committed position there, not using his cloudburst to hide inside. I think that's a pretty big error, to be honest. You've got to be set up to deal with the tiles crunch in those kind of positions.
Bhaiya you look so tired get some
Smoke
ये मैच के
Smoke
बाद
your feet
भाई
playing side
ऑक्सी
of
का
them. You know
मैच
you're
है
gonna
बे
get hit by some kind of
कैसे
flash. Didn't quite have the protocol ready
You
and
dead?
set there to go, and I think that's one of the big differences between these two teams. G2
Six
have got set
alto
plays
de
and
dua,
ideas
Like,
heavily
enough
drilled into them.
membership
They
mila
focus
hai.
on the discipline, the core. You know, almost what the desk was asking earlier. Is game sense better than mechanics? Or more important than mechanics? I think, you know, G2 are definitely the game sense, discipline, prep, and making sure everybody's on the same page kind of team.
Yeah.
mesmerizing gameplay
Three
D9 का
more than the
2
sum of its
साल
parts.
कैसे
D9 का एकदम
C9 a little more
mesmerizing
loose with it.
gameplay यार
Little more
कुछ
कैसे
भी
2
बोलो
साल होगा
Going with audible calls.
कैसे
Leave things for Vanity and Oxy to feel out the round.
हाँ
तू बता
भाई सच्ची
So not too much really, I think, on the other end of the timeout to adjust.
who
haven't
you
seen too
supporting
much,
I
only the
support
pistol
only
round of the
jet
bonus
players यार
that goes wrong.
Yeah.
only
Timeout's still
jet
called though
players
for Cloud9. They're on
Oxy
a stinger purchase.
वो लोग में jet नहीं है ना
Yeah,
G2
and this
में
is the brutal part of being hit by a set strat like that works,
Yeah.
is that you actually don't have too much to even modify. You know, you can
रात को
talk to
3
each other
बजे भी
about how to
हरकतें
stop another task crunch from happening, but
Good
G2
turn
are
मारा
certainly
था
not going to
इसने।
do it on this round. Probably not going to do it for the rest of the half. But maybe we'll see it one more time.
Nice and rapid though from Oxy.
एक साल से ड्रीम मेंबर से बोलते हैं love you both my kiddies 40-50 साल और टिक जाओ.
I'm taking out the position.
Love you.
Jonah P almost with a punish. He's dropped onto 1 HP. And a paranoia. Oh, Valin covers it. Valin Kai now with the damage done. Look at this. Bullets firing forwards and true. Nicely done with the jump spot. I see. Lean with the movement. Stun. Forwards, they got to know what his last few players are. Spikes picked back up. There's no real escaping from this one. G2 are eager to hunt down the remaining players.
Look at the discipline again.
Yeah, doesn't overstep it with the swing.
It's so good. Every single time there, they had another player ready to either distract for a wide swing or to double face or to trade. It's always really well coordinated from this G2 squad. And look at that, swinging in. As Jonah P swings out, Icy then comes over to support Valin, and then as Leaf presses forward, he's got someone with him as well. Really lovely done.
Just like that, going up to 8-8. G2 more than back in it for the map itself. It's a team that they've been together as a core, this roster, for a long, long time. But honestly, the international experience that they've now acquired, from strength to strength. Played that many matches recently.
Brilliant thing, yeah.
Then together we खेलने वाले next week.
C9 have been struggling with the attack side on this map from what I can remember. It's been one where obviously it's difficult for any team, but I think it favors having some really set ideas so that eventually a couple of them break through and you can get some attack rounds going.
Body shoot कर रहे हैं?
नहीं है.
Trying to try and set up Oxy here.
Yeah, it's non-committal, it's just looking for picks. And no one's facing.
Yeah.
These were the spots in the previous match where G2 completely shut down Oxy. They didn't offer him any opportunities. They forced him to overextend, and then they shut him down by double facing him and having great utility. On the attack side, he had like a 0.6 rating. Really rough.
Paranoia, a lot of util going to be expended here, but it's just one stun that stops them. Icy has to reposition.
कोई गया ही नहीं था, उसके लगा कोई गया था.
These Cloud9 players, and they are tackling the side. Well enough. Line forwards, Valin still alive, towards the corner, but they know where he is. His position was noted just from earlier. Top of the plant, up forwards, Trent trying to take the forward position, but it's Cloud9 who overwhelm it.
Sexy execute, na, lekin.
It's a great stabilizing round from Cloud9.
Is there any advantage of skins in Valo? You feel good.
Able to get in off the back of Rooney's ultimate. That's been a key point of coordination for Cloud9 today. They were good with it on the defense side as well. Making sure that they use the pressure that it applies. You know, forcing Icy to be isolated in that spot. And keeping Valin to only one in his anchor position. The economy for G2 though is still looking fairly good.
So MVP,
they're still able to get the buy together.
Yeah, we're going to get some rifle rounds. Valin caught by that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it feel like he could be in wine though.
Same game plan from Cloud9 though. Not that big control, they just pre-fire the alarm bot.
This setup is such classic G2. Trent makes it feel like it's only him covering market in the hopes that you don't clear the hard left position and Leaf gets freebies. How often was this working at Shanghai? It felt like it was constant.
Jonah P holding for that long range flash, although it's not going to be using it anytime soon. Might go for a re-clear. Yeah, they do. Biding his time, holds close to the corner, so not being caught by it. Drone only spotting one, that was Moose. Doesn't reveal away too much. Jump spot might though. They see Oxy into mid, and now it's pretty evident. It's going to be that B split. The player's going to be put under tremendous amount of fire. G2, question is, how does Leaf really tackle it? Anybody watching this one? Oh, jumping around. It's a little bit messy still. Lands two. The rest of his team now ready to support. Reinforcements arriving into the fray. Tight to the corner. Rooney once more. Last one left to stand against it. It's an onslaught that G2 are delivering here. It's going to be that 9-9. Even up scoreline once more.
God, the look on Vanity's face as he runs into the smoke and sees Leaf in there. It's who, Leaf? Really? You've betrayed me and gone to the other side, and now you're ruining me and Zephyr. I mean, the spam as well through onto Moose. Yeah,
panicked.
I think
the information that you pointed out in the round, though, they got the read on where that was headed. It was a nice idea from C9 to try to deny as much info as they could, make sure it was loose break in the drone, but drop back into those defensive setups, and Valen had time to throw the smoke perfectly there.
One suppressed.
Trent without the Odin, so it is a bit easier for C9 to get in.
Dark flash to punish in case something's holding close to main.
Wow, okay, so a fake teleport there from Valen. He's in line, and they've made it feel like they panicked. And reinforced B, perhaps hoping that that would indicate, all right, let's rush into A. They've overstacked the B site by accident, and then Valen would be able to snack on them from line.
Like karo yaar guys, 1000
That's not the
likes
case,
nahi hua
C9.
abhi tak.
Don't take the bait. They don't know exactly where the Omen is, but he's got to be somewhere.
Have you tried Valo on console? No, I don't have a console.
Cloud9 going for a fake now. No command going to be used into B main. Spike's nowhere near. All intentions going to be heading over towards the A side. G2 have a full read on this. Not enough util or not enough of a sell from Cloud9. Nobody shifted the position. Valen straight back into wine, holding the close quarter angle. And it gets a little bit messy now.
You should run.
Lockdown, Valen forced to peek. It is weird, and they know he's there.
30 seconds
They
left.
think.
An indicator at least. Turning away.
Yeah,
Precisely the wrong time there from
Down
Vanity. Still
A.
going to be covered and traded by Moose, but the lockdown for a lockdown. Trent go walkabouts and finds just a wandering Oxy.
This is a weird one. Oxy was hoping that the B site was clear and he could give that info to his team, and now, I mean, this is just a save.
Yeah.
There's 10 seconds
10
on the
seconds
clock.
left.
All of Cloud9's ideas have come to naught. The fake left Oxy inserted on the B side of the map, and it was supposed to be plan B. Maybe even plan C, I suppose.
Yeah.
Maybe if the fake had worked, that would be like plan A. Oxy's over-inserted onto B, and he just missed the timing on Trent. Trent's got really good awareness that that could be a possibility. None of the fast knife out rotating, exposing himself to angles. So very solid, and Cloud9 are forced to take a timeout because they've only won one round so far in this half. And this is where the fact that the map is so defense-sided, you get these enormous swings in momentum.
Yeah.
The pistol rounds end up being massive, just so that you can get the economy under your feet and get some cheaper rounds on the attack
of course,
side.
I mean, G2 winning the pistol and the bonus.
And both pistols, yeah.
And it wasn't the healthiest bonus win in the world, you know. You remember the Phantom getting tossed away, but it's still, you know, you keep the bank building and
you suppress your opponents.
Exactly, and G2's money has been very nice so far. Been able to get gun rounds into almost all of it. So timeout.
I think one of the big things that C9 can think about here a little is that they've run quite a lot of anti-Odin setups. They've been going for flash recon plays, trying to catch onto Trent, and Trent actually hasn't been running the Odin. So, in theory, you can just walk up B and try to do some executes where Oxy gets put into spots a little more easily. You can try to save more utility so that you have some for the post plan. There's always a danger that Trent might pick it up, and he has gone for it here. But this one is going to be the flash recon.
Yeah, a bit of Odin spam.
Yeah, Odin spam through these tiles, doors.
Wait, this might be dead.
Check WhatsApp. No.
We'll see if it finds some value.
It looks like it might. I mean, this is where Oxy needs to
wait a second. Here we go. Blinds it up. Does Cloudburst out towards the feet there. Not going to be spotted, but again, it does the work. It's a classic play.
Yeah. Oxy Cloudburst forwards, and so the rest of his team can't hide inside of it.
Soul has to be committed, at least one of the blades for it. Again,
G2
assuming the anchoring positions, defensive in nature. And a swarm's deaded across. Drone has to be broken. Oxy, it's a flash peek into the spawn stun. Not enough to slow him down, but there is that trade anyway. Just from those players now. Linking back up, G2. Crossfire here. Pause being called by Cloud9, but again, they want to try and fight this one, and it might be a miss call. Mistell as well. Too sure what util they had really available for that. Potentially misfired. Another face though, doubled up together, forcing it to a 1v2. Rooney spam through, maybe just a shoulder peeking through.
If the double peek doesn't work the first time, or do it again.
Try it again.
When C9 cut noise like that, G2 were worried. They'd be walking into sight, taking timings. They don't want that to be split up into a series of 1v1s. This is a really common set play that we're seeing, and they're working. And I think that's a bit worrying for Cloud9 because it's not like G2 are bringing out anything new
ideas.
Yeah, new, bizarre to catch you off guard.
वो लोग से push
C9
रोक रहे
should
हैं.
actually have some awareness that these plays in round 15, round 20 are really standard on Ascent, and they're getting caught by them and losing very important rounds as a result. 2 Guardians and a Bulldog now for C9. G2 running away with it.
Getting into desperate territory.
साले इसको भी flick मारता है रे
Not too much variation to the attack side game plan of Cloud9 again. It's a lot of just mid pressure, make sure that they remove the alarm bot and looking for picks, but Oxy has not got anything from this. Nobody has given him a sight line or a fight to take.
Oh, potential for a refight here into A main.
They hear it. Vanity jump spot. Stunned. Paranoia blind.
Like
Let's get the connection.
blind,
Yeah,
bro.
Icy was blinded up. Again another fall.
Bhai.
Wow, nice.
Util. It's relentless right now from
Bhai,
G2. And they're
galat
finding all
pick,
sorts of
bhai,
possibilities
galat pick
across the
kar
map.
diya.
Sight gained at least for the front section of it, but main control swapped around here. Don't know how Leaf got into that spot. Crossing away, Rooney, nice one. Magnetic straight to the dome. JP is going to be dropped into the crossover. They still have control of this. Leaf. Need to clear out Rooney. They're aware that he's got himself lurked deep up into the market angle. He's going to be a bit of a nuisance, and with him dealt with, now full attention and focus.
God,
To the side
Zeppa.
still, Zeppa does claim 1, 45 health to his name. Doubled up now into the high-low angle. Anybody who tries to take a step, Valin forwards, just cleans both of them up.
That shouldn't be happening.
कैसे?
Monstrous play from the IGL of G2.
That's a high low that he's going up against.
He's been so good this year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's just
कैसे?
constantly delivering for his team. The calling has been immaculate, but also individually putting on a show. Up at the top of the scoreboard alongside Lee.
Love him,
Yeah,
man.
this play, 2 layers to it, so that the paranoia from Vanity cannot stop everything that's happening. For C9, I think Oxy's got to realize they're scared of me.
I
You know, they're playing
what?
so disciplined around the map.
उसको
I'm not
खुद
getting
ने
like
मालूम
picks
है
that
ऐसा
I'm used
हमारा
to over
उसने.
towards market. So let's take another step
Six
forward.
की तरह
I
घर
think
पे.
Oxy needs to find that confidence to just contact in a
1K
little
likes
deeper
करो
than
guys,
he
बात
usually
तो है.
would to try to find G2. But it's tough. You don't want to run into crossfires.
You really don't. And G2 is so good at setting that level of play up. It was their game plan last time they played against Cloud9 as well. Stun is
That is nice.
perfect with the placement.
Stun off the alarm bot and then double swing.
Yeah.
Cool setup. They've definitely put the time into finding out how to get the value from Neon even though you can't op.
Bam battle हो रहा
Plays
है.
like that are going to make Oxy a little more concerned about just walking into spots.
ये
But
जीत
I
गया.
think it's necessary. I think
ये
there really
C9
doesn't
जीत
seem
गया.
like another win con here for C9.
भले दो
They're gonna
blind
send the
है,
exec.
Needs to be a round win. This is Cloud9
दोनों
to
spotted
this
है,
map.
Oxy घुस जाएगा.
Dwindling.
Recon
Oxy
blind में Oxy घुस जाएगा.
lurking, underhanded with the flash as well, dominating this angle. Jonah P, not to be removed. Musto biding his time, waiting it out, and we'll get the punish in time. Out through heaven once more, Valin. A little bit messy with it, but Vanity, beautiful with the shooting. A knife out, Leaf caught.
घुस तो गया. मेरे को लगा dash मारेगा रे, dash नहीं था क्या?
Trying to have a
No,
little bit too
Omen
much to
blind
do. I
मारेगा
think he
सिर्फ
realized
smoke
that
dash करके
himself maybe
space करेगा.
possibly there with a spam kill. Yep.
He'd have to get very fortunate to win this
And he's
one.
already being
ये
pushed and
Jinsu.
pressured. So, Cloud9 staying alive in the map.
Yeah, and quite a nice idea. Like
This
I say,
is split.
contacting
दोनों
around
round
the
अभी
map, I
वही
think
होने
is going
वाला.
to be really useful here
Default
because
फिर
you're not
split.
running into an operator and G2 are holding very
वही
distant
काम कर रहा है वो
positions.
लोग का.
This time it's double contact. It looks a little silly here from Oxy, but when Oxy dies, they don't expect there to be another portion of this. And Jonah P, a very free kill for Moose. And the reason that it didn't feel like a full A split is because Oxy isn't making a ton of noise. He's
Bunks
contacting
बा
and it
ऐसो
makes
में
it feel
बन जाओ.
like
फन तो है
he was
ऐसो
just a
खेलना
backstabber.
आजकल.
So I think they can run some ideas like that. He doesn't necessarily have to be the lurk backstab, but I think he can try to push things a little further.
देख G2
And his
देख
team needs
जीतेगा.
him to.
है G2 का
G2 has
map.
been so excellent at keeping
Next
Oxy to
defend try
just
किया
being
नहीं.
a regular
TDM
good
game है
player,
ना वो.
where when you see Cloud9 play against other teams, Oxy looks like a superstar.
He
in
dominates.
Americas.
Yeah, he absolutely dominates.
And even when Oxy's shut down, he's not bad. He's at the top of the scoreboard now, 18 and 17. You know, one of the only players who's positive for C9, but
Yeah.
he's not finding those opportunities on attack to dominate the game and open things up. But 2 rounds gained basically equals things that G2 got on their attack side, except G2 also won the pistol.
Here.
That's all that really separates the two teams so far. There's still only one more round. Is all it will take. For
PS games कब खेल रहे हैं? नहीं PS.
It does feel very,
Everyone
very
goes Valo
even.
खेलो babe.
The
आते हैं
problem
सिडनी
is,
में.
it's even, and G2 are a step away from the finish line.
मैं थोड़ी खेल सकता हूँ सिडनी server.
Full group up from Cloud9. That was spread default. Have another assault. Looks like they just want to go straight into an A exec. There is only going to be the one player waiting for them. It's a Hunter's Fury to set this one up. Valen going to be feeling the heat here. Still tucked into the position. Never to actually clear him out, and surely doesn't get away with this one. A kill to be found. Finally traded.
Trade.
Moves him from the fight. With Icy opping, this retake's going to be made more difficult, but it does have the ult.
He's got the ult, he's got the stun. They're missing Paranoia, that's the big one. And also a smoke for A main or the spike.
plant करके post plant ult मारेगा
Getting
ना?
planted.
I mean, playing offside here feels like it would be really good in the post.
And the ult offloaded into the hands. Let's see it electrifying in nature. Icy spamming away. No easy fight's going to be given to them right now. Cloud9 are making sure that they play this so damn patiently. It's beautiful work from Oxy. Just weaves backwards and forwards away from the Jenny. A little bit of a tap and a damage and a dash reposition. Is so damn smart. The face by
Bye,
finishes
crazy
it.
way.
11th round.
तू मेरा chat
One
मत पढ़
more
भाई
to
मैं
drag
जा
it
रहा.
OT.
Bye bye. कोई नया story mode games होगा.
Great
सब
decision
बाद
there
में
from
next
C9.
week.
They come out of the timeout straight
ये
into
अब तो
an
बहुत
exec.
काम है.
I don't know whether that was a hard read based on something that I've
ये भी
missed.
मास्टर्स चल
but
रहा
they
है या
found
नहीं?
a
अभी
pretty
सीधा
much
चैंपियंस.
free site.
मास्टर्स खत्म हो गया.
It was only Valen up at the
अभी
top and they
मास्टर्स
traded
का
him out.
फाफा. चैंपियंस के लिए.
Great little shot from Oxy, who also grabbed 3.
जो स्प्लिट 1 अच्छा खेला, जो स्प्लिट 2 अच्छा खेला, जो मास्टर्स अच्छा खेला.
round 24 for
सबका
G2.
टोटल पॉइंट्स
This
इकट्ठा
looks
करके
suddenly so doable for
लोग क्वालीफाई
Cloud9.
होंगे चैंपियंस के
Instant
लिए.
change of fortunes.
Big online too. They just want to run it back. All grouped up onto A. This time with a lockdown.
They can null command as well.
चैंपियंस में कितने टीम खेलते हैं?
That ult. I mean, you can just wait.
हर
that out.
रीजन से 4 टीम्स क्वालीफाई
Lockdown. It's
होंगे.
a deep knife as well. It's going to be set across. 4 players tagged. This time, obvious.
Yeah, the one thing that they've got to be aware of here is that the retake's going to be coming through with a null command from Jonah P.
It is.
Have they got a plan for that?
आपको टाइम मिले तभी न्यू गेम खेलो और रेस्ट
Someone wants to
करो.
take a fight entertainment. Nobody covering Valen's position. It's a kill found for it. He even expects it. The second go of
By
things.
read
Icy
ta
this
be,
time winning it
read
out.
ta
4v4.
No utility available here for C9. No paranoia. Now
Omen
just
blind
getting
big
it
हो
back.
सकता
Yeah.
है.
I
The
think
nade
G2
as well to
missed
try and
their
delay. It's a shot dart. Finds it. They're all just caught into this corner. In the section of hell, only the one player to bail them out, and that's Moose playing from the main angle. He needs to get value, needs to get kills, but there's a lot to be asked of him right now in this spot. Smokes spammed onto the angles, the appropriate positions, all known and noted, and everybody falling. Leave it to just one. Already broken. The final shot does it there. 13 to 11.
Close था बे.
Good close out from G2.
बाप
Really well done.
retake
All
किया
of the
बे.
patience paying
हाँ?
off for them. Very good coordination on
बाप
how they
खेला, दोनों
swung
टीम
out
बाप
through
खेला
heaven
लेकिन.
there. Just
दोनों
mirrored
टीम
it all
बाप
throughout
खेला.
the map.
जी क्वालीफाई हो
Having
सकता
said
है,
that,
लगता नहीं.
super close still. I think the entire map basically came down to the fact
दोनों
that
गेम
G2
जीता
won
तो, लेकिन
both
जल्दी को हराना
pistols,
मतलब
and C9 fumbled a little bit at
Champions
dealing
को
with
हराना.
those defensive set plays. They lost 2 very crucial rounds to the Tiles crunch. And then
बाप
also
बे
that
कितना टाइम बाद
kind of
अच्छा
flash
G2 को
recon
देखा ऐसा
spam
लग रहा है
play
यार.
from Catwalk.
ना?
Definitely agree. I mean, you can tell this is a Cloud9 team that just hasn't
कुछ
been
गलती वलती
resting
नहीं,
on the
clean
laurels of the
VALORANT.
5-1 standing so far.
क्या करने का पता है,
They've made
विजन है.
definitive improvements while a lot of the teams have been in Shanghai improving themselves, you know. And a lot of those matches. We're going to be stepping away up next.
बहुत
Golden
time
Boy
बाद
and
ऐसा
Lotus,
लगा
we'll be
G2
breaking it
बहुत
all
प्यारा
down for
खेला.
map number 1, so don't go anywhere. You don't want to miss it.
सिन्हा ने बहुत इम्प्रूव किया दोनों पे. अच्छा था.
Red Bull gives you wings.
सिनन फिर भी निकालेगी लग रहा है, पता नहीं. अभी सिनन का मैप है, निकाल तो सकते हैं. रुको वॉशिंग मशीन. मैं जा रहा हूँ सोने, मेरा हो गया बीसी. क्यों? अच्छा गेम है यार.
Hey guys, it's Jimmy Lin. In this series, I'm going to walk you through attack on Pearl. Watch out for the stairs, clear this angle. You're going to be able to fight this.
I'm back. I'm back. ठीक है गाइस, ठीक है, मतलब लाइक्स नहीं करना तो मत करो यार, ठीक है कोई। Hello. Late night stream, yeah. यार C9 का मैच था, G2 कैसे जीता? हाय, न्यू एजेंट का मेरे को नहीं पता, कोई और जॉइन करने का प्लान है अभी वापस नहीं। Yay! How's you? I'm good. बिना हेडफोन्स के गाने कैसे सुन रहे हैं? इसमें से थोड़ा सुनाई देता है। दोनों वाइबिंग हो सकते हैं। Job! Congratulations! मुझे आइसक्रीम चाहिए था ना? Hello ओम। को बजट नहीं मिलेगा ना अब पॉइंट का, इसीलिए हम आइसक्रीम फ्रिज में ही रखते हैं, स्टोर करते हैं, जब भी मन हुआ खा लें। Hello Thunder, hi Zoro.
Valen feeling some of the pressure, they swing into him, he gets 3 on the round!
Hello.
Has that support from Zeppa close range, no you till the half out, so this allows Oxy to pop off! Ben Silly here, standing here with Coach Josh RT. Coach, I wanted to ask you, the analyst desk was a little bit intrigued about the 1-for-1 switch from the Neon to Jet. Not necessarily being banned, but wanted more elaboration on it. Can you help us explain on that choice?
It was as simple as just adding a piece of utility on my duelist and having that switch up of like pace that I thought was interesting and I thought C9 wouldn't be able to handle. Unfortunately, like we only got 4 rounds. I was kind of hoping for more, but that was the thought process behind it.
At least you still got the dub, so good luck on Icebox. Thanks, man.
That's right, G2 picks up the win. It was their map pick on Ascent, and they were the squad that brought up some unique strategies. By unique, we mean they just picked Neon, and they used it to great effect there in certain rounds, right? Now, of course, so the thing is that as we break it all down, though, there were some big plays that were being made on both sides of the field, Mel. I mean, you were really seeing great ideas implemented because both of these teams just have such a great understanding of where they want to play in the game right now.
Yeah, I saw a lot of like potential with the Neon. I saw like I could see a lot of the ideas. I think some of the execution on at least their attack, and I think Josh kind of hints at it as well, that there could have been some more, like something more about on the pacing and maybe more of like a better execution of the defaults. But overall, I do think the Neon did come out on top to surprise the other team, frankly. I think on defense, I was kind of surprised at the lack of it off, but it ended up paying out for them, to be honest.
Yeah, I really like the IGLing on both sides, but in my opinion, second half immediately starts with Valen playing incredible. I mean, it was so good, the clutch backside. I mean, lit them on fire, and it ends up being a really close game at the end of it. But Valen just continues to look like one of the best players actually overall. Yeah. He's playing so well and so consistently for this team. Maybe sometimes he's not pulling out the Jonah P clutches consistently or anything like that, but he's so valuable to this team. And you saw it right there.
Yeah, the fragging IGL has definitely become even more and more prevalent this stage for sure. But for now, though, let's actually go ahead and hear what the coach of Cloud9 has to say as we get ready for map 2.
Ventily now standing here with Coach Imi. Imi, I have to ask you, this now unfortunately with the loss to G2 just now puts you at 1-4 on Ascent this stage. What was the reasoning why you will still want to let that through despite the loss in overtime the last time?
I mean, we've had 2 months to practice, so we're going to practice it, right? We're not going to keep it the same. We just didn't play well on the attack. Even though we lost pistol and we got bonused, we still just didn't play. We had like 3 rounds where we played correct. The rest of it is just is what it is.
Well, hopefully you guys will bring it back here in Icebox. Good luck.
And interesting to hear Coach Jimmy say that, right? And yeah, it was, you know, a little bit of a struggle for them there, right? They weren't winning those rounds that you really do need to win in order to pad that stat there, you know, the scoreline, Mel. But yeah, it has to be a little disheartening, especially after how close that game was for C9.
Yeah, especially like the lead that they had. And like I said, I was really not expecting the Neon to pave the way for the comeback. I really thought that was more of like a attack-sided pick. So I'd definitely be taken a little off guard. But at the same time, like you do have to reset the mental really quickly. There's another map to be played. Like game's definitely not over yet.
Yes, and now we make our way over to Icebox. This is going to be map 2. This will be, of course, C9's pick here. We have seen teams, you know, like try to throw some different ideas out there. Are we expecting anything different here? Or are we going to get bog standard Valorant from what we expected from both teams?
I mean, G2's always been pretty unique on this map. They were one of the first.
Thank you for the 200. Sorry, Binks bhai. Abhi can't watch you live. Job and पढ़ाई चल रही है. एग्जाम्स आर नियरिंग पर जो भी टाइम मिला एक बार देख लेता हूँ स्पेशली वॉच पार्टी शुरू से साइलेंट प्लेयर लव यू यार काय का साइलेंट इतने टाइम से मेंबरशिप ले रहा है मैं जानता है तेरे को
But I think still in the meta, like there's.
I think you must visit South Korea. काय को भाई कुछ जरूरत नहीं मैं जा रहा हूँ आपके लिए जो भी काय को visit करना है उसको.
I think people are just not even when there's big ticket items like Neon and ISO, like it's very difficult to have that kind of take your attention at the same time. Despite I think potentially.
यार मिमी किधर है बे?
Value with the change.
वो देख spike.
Yeah. Do you see potentially Mel an ISO pick here? I mean, I think
वो अमेरिका में ही
see it come from the likes of like.
No, I think वो बहुत limited लोगों को मिलता है ऐसा कुछ.
Yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, and
I think you can't purchase it.
ISO was not my first thought on Icebox, but after seeing it played, I can definitely see a lot of the ideas, and I could see. I mean, if ISO was going to try Neon, which I wasn't expecting, I could totally see him branching out to try ISO, and I feel like ISO is kind of good on a map where there's a lot of op dominance because Romper peeks you, takes a shot, you live.
I'll be honest, the same conversation we consistently have about IC, you know, trying to step into that star duelist role, and he's been doing great. And I talked about how he has more potential on it. I'm a little concerned about him on that specific agent because to me, it needs to be a super carry like we saw from Jaw.
Nope.
Whereas you saw Paint, obviously Paint had that first debut that we're not going to expect everything from him, but you see how easily the shield gets countered when you have the caliber of players on this stage. I really think that it needs to be a super carry. Oxy would be that guy for me. Icy right now, not necessarily, but I wouldn't count it out. I think he needs to try to build that confidence and go for it. I'm just not enthused about the idea.
Yeah, for sure. It does make me interested to see what we're going to get there from Cloud9, right? Because as we were talking about before, we would have expected C9 to be the team to take more of those risks, given that they have had that time.
They're the ones that are kind of
sticking to the guns, so to speak. Here. So do you think it's a good opportunity now to maybe try something new here, try and be a bit more unpredictable in this situation?
Oh, ये होड़ी दे.
You know, the stakes of all these wins.
Absolutely.
Killjoy का भी उड़ी है।
Trying to step in and come in with
ये सब
some
लेके
innovation,
अपने
'cause I
इधर
feel
नहीं
like
मिलेगा।
historically, and surely I'm not wrong here, I feel like Clan has
Bear.
actually been happy to experiment.
53 pounds मतलब कितना हुआ?
Euro.
They had that Lotus
53
comp, I
euros.
forget, the one that did not.
INR 2 euro.
I think.
100%. And it's in scrims too, and everybody's
चार
scrimming.
हजार
See them like
नहीं
do,
वो
like,
ज्यादा है
comps,
KR
and
में कम
that's
हो
why I was a bit taken
ये
off, but
देखना
especially this time what we are
बहुत
seeing. Not to put Wyatt in the conversation, but the deadlock cipher.
Yeah, right.
Where's Wyatt? They're yelling about Cypher. Although that would be, that would not be a bad idea in this particular map.
No,
right?
this is a map where you've seen Triple Sentinel be phenomenal in the past, right?
Yeah.
And Sage and Chamber back in the meta back then. What?
The charisma.
Wait, what was he pointing at? What was he pointing at?
Oh, product
It looked like a
authentication भी है
character
इसमें।
with blondish hair, I think. I
Valorant
want
से
to
दिखा
say.
रहा
I don't have hair, so it's hard for me to,
That's
tell. But
so funny.
yeah, we'll see what we end up getting
Largest
out of this.
5000 का ये
Working, going crazy.
ये क्या है पिन बे $8 का पिन?
ये 5000 का है
People must be watching and be like, yo, these guys are cooked right
मैंने कितने का लिया पता नहीं प्राइस है क्या उधर पीछे?
All right, Agent Select coming up. Let's see what we got.
दिल्ली में लगे तुमको
Oh,
Huh?
wait.
तिजोरी में रखने जाने में
There was no cooking from Valen whatsoever.
Yeah, my guy, he was pointing at the Reyna. I think he was pointing at the Reyna on the other side, probably. Man, I feel so baited and genuinely.
देख रहे ना $184.
His luscious locks.
I love it. I think the Reyna is very good, and it's also the combination that you have with the Gecko. You kind of
And Oxy on the Reyna too. He's a player that's a good self-starter. So get Reyna going could be a problem.
16,000.
See that? I think, like you
हाँ,
said,
वो
there's
तो
going
ठीक
back
है
to
वो
the
तेरे
flashes. I
दूसरे
think
सारे भी
doubling down on the
18,000
rifling.
की है
I don't predict a lot of opping coming out of the comp. When you're playing Reyna, you just want to get close, you want to get the trade, and you want to fall out immediately. So opping, I don't think we'll see too much.
Scarf
Well,
देख
let's see how
scarf
scrappy we can get here in those instances. I'm excited
Oh,
for
bhai,
this
ye
one,
bhi
Mel.
itna
It's going to be
expensive
awesome
tha.
to say the least.
Scarf
Let's send
is
it back over to your
32
casters. Get
euros.
ready for Icebox. It's going to be Brendan's Sideshow on the call.
मैं बोला ना मैंने सिर्फ कार्ड ऐसा मारा है ये भी देख कितना मस्त है
Oxy on Reyna, man. I mean, that's going to be an interesting one. New Reyna as well, with a couple of changes. Minor tweaks happening, of course. But honestly, we were talking, there's been a lot of clove play on Icebox that we've seen so far. And teams have been running it in a fashion
वो
where
ये
you're playing these
poster
one-and-done
भी
angles.
मिलता है
And we were always saying, like,
पर
why
लेना
not
मत
run a Reyna instead? And honestly, it makes sense. Reyna's been played for
एक
the
छोटा
entire
वाला
history
is
of
32
Icebox. The
pounds.
Leas are fantastic.
32
Disrupting
euros.
offers. You can play those hard one-and-done angles. You can get a kill and dismiss if you're good at
Language,
Oxy
language
is definitely good enough.
Oh, definitely. But I think most of what
वो ये सारे posters है ये वाला
is
मस्त
going
है
to be playing unexpected
ये भी
angles
मस्त
on
है
These are made
defense.
to
On
order
the attack side, when he used to play Jet on this map,
This
he'd
though we
often
can
be
also
updrafting on
print
top
up,
of yellow,
no?
updrafting on top of generator, and
can
he's not
also
going to
print,
have that
But
access to
authentic and
unusual
getting
angles
you print is
vertically
different.
while playing Reyna. So he's got to make up for it in other ways by
Mouse
playing
pad भी
weird
ये भी
positions.
था वहाँ पे Phoenix
And that is the big
ये दो
power
में
of
रहता मैं
Reyna,
खरीद लूँ
is that you're supposed to catch people off guard
फिर तो
by
और
playing in
बन
spots they don't expect. And certainly
चलो
Mithul
देखते हैं
Nayak
क्या
could
सीन है
be a bit of a demon.
भाई नया वाला रहना
Yet to meet them.
नो डुलिस्ट को हम खेल सकते हैं
Seeking to deny the plant.
तो मैंने एड्स ऑफ करके रखा है ब्रो
Or slow though, but a lot of noise being made, especially with that drone. It kind of
You
orchestrates
didn't
it. There's a
think
heavy
you did.
rotation by GT.
I think it's sad.
It's kind of weird actually. They're droning.
नो डुलिस्ट कॉम्प इज very much common Icebox
Really quite nice here.
And they want to fight forwards, yeah. Playing that pressure now towards all of these players, but no easy targets, at least there is. Trent onto the rotation, Dizzy though. Connection there. Lining up the screen, and the backfire position is going to be 4-4. One out by G2, but they still have to worry about his
Short bait.
tucked towards danger, and Oxy has this crossfire, but he is spotted. Valin, tapped out with the classic, just quite missing. Oxy though, dropped to 34. Health. Icy to Fuse, was coming online. Needed to be
Short bay.
towards the back anyway.
Short.
Nice stuff from Cloud9, showing us a range of ideas there. Managing their fuel very effectively. Normally, people are going to wall up as they cross over to yellow, and I believe what they did was go for the Leah cross, so that then they keep fuel to be able to pop it up, and then still get forwards to Snowman. Small stuff, but it actually does make a huge difference, those little details, and catching opponents off guard, and giving yourself the timings you need to set up.
Boys, come on. It starts with a pistol, baby.
We just need the one pistol. Yeah, this is the first one that C9's been able to get in the series.
That's where it starts.
And it made a massive difference on Ascent. I understand where Emmy was coming from, that they didn't play the attack half that great, but
sound bada. Sorry.
Kind of neither did G2 play to perfection on their attack half.
I felt like both teams definitely close. Yeah, all the focus, emphasis being
ये लोग मेरे जैसे हैं लेकिन ये लोग को भी पसंद है.
Here on Icebox, definitely looks like Cloud9 have some very cool ideas. Although Zephyr,
that's not one of them.
Overextends, yeah, and that might be handing over a slight gun. Not too sure if he did have one of the weapons in his hands or not. Oxy, given any free sight lines of any free kills here. Goal's going to be trying to do a bit of that economical damage. High Tide actually does cut away a lot of the common angles you would be trying to play for. And Oxy can't really spam with this one. Still with a Guardian. We'll get it along with the dismiss. Icy just tapping away at the defuse. Trying to pull that util out of them.
भाई क्या fast जाता है बे?
Finally getting the job done.
क्या fast जाता है ना?
Having that extra weapon as well for the upgrade.
हम check DM और F possible किधर है? Insta पे?
C9, they look like they want to brawl. In these post plants, they're not going to play super disciplined sandbag. What's the reason to? It wouldn't really play into the Reina pit.
बंद में नींद आ रही है मैच के बाद.
What a shot. Instead, they're going to be playing these aggressive spots. They're going to be trying to put pressure on G2. And I think the way that G2's composition works, it kind of... G2 would like them to just sit back and not challenge. If you're playing a very passive post plant, then suddenly...
बाजू से भी dismiss करे तो तू जाके मार सकता
है. Really big value.
Dismiss किया तो 100% safe बचेगा.
Zephyr's one away from getting thrashed.
Exactly. Snowball starting to accrue. Up on a bow now. How's the thrash? Probably seen quite a bit there. Got broke a little bit too late. Jump spot from Leaf. No punish. Almost there from Moose with the pre-fire. A re-clears core. G2. Dizzy. Just about missing.
Could have been a good timing there to try to go for
the
executive.
वो लोग को एक ही डर है, ये लोग भी जा रहे लेकिन.
Zephyr may choose to use this thrash.
Bad
opens it up. Trent was just looking for information. C9 had not made a whisper over towards green.
ये लोग खाली है, Recon ने clear कर दिया.
Just intrinsically knew the angles.
Monster on the loose.
Util committed just to clear out towards B.
Mid.
Yeah, right through mid to clear it out. It is a cool idea, just in case there were players just trying to play further back in terms of the position. Plants online for them too, so Cloud9, it's a great idea for their bonus round.
The plant's in an unusual spot there as well, actually. Because Zephyr didn't plant with Wingman, they've gone for like a tucked position.
I think they can still play with the mid players, right? Spamming.
Yeah,
not too much danger there. Cove's going to be immediately dealt with, broken. High Tide does cause some potential problems. Have to be really calm and collected, I think, into this moment with these shots. But yeah, the mid players can finally apply that pressure. The damage done in the kill time. Ran away from them. This is G2 that are going to be falling short of the mark.
Fuck!
Cloud9 though. Beautiful work, honestly.
Yeah, they've put a lot of time into this. You can see why they've gone for this as their map pick in this series. Looking at the other side, G2's Icebox, they were winning in Americas. This composition looked pretty good for them. No duelist kind of look. But when they came over to play this at Masters, they didn't really find any value. They were getting... Actually, I mean, against some teams, they got toasted. They lost 13-1 to T1.
Yeah.
Yes,
and that was a team that was just looking to try to take fights, challenge them aggressively. That's exactly what C9 are going to do today.
Plays to the strengths of this team. Again, look at the disrespect. I mean, again, using the leer to cross forwards and past. Their match in terms of the players there. Valorant does get the one and still staying alive, but drone should clear him out of the position. He's got reinforcements with Trent, but the guns aren't really there. Still taking the swing. An attempt to defy. Again, doesn't have a rifle, only the stinger. Cove
वो लोग ने देख लिया, दोनों निकल गए. लेकिन हार्बर वापस आ गया.
With the cascades, going for it, man. He's just swinging there, holding.
I mean, I respect it when you're in an eco round like this.
Bye, Baap the
able to handle what's being thrown at them.
What's written under G233? What does it mean? Split के matches. कितने matches खेले?
Plan's finally there. One side to Dizzy. You can't be letting this one slip though. They're being plucked apart, man. At the seams. Left it just down to Moose now. Doesn't matter about the lack of weaponry because they got the man advantage. Spraying it through almost there with the transport finally with the bullets landing.
Smoosha cleans it. Got very
भाई
dangerous.
क्या
for a
निकाला?
second. Certainly did. It's a big one from Moose with the Red Bull clutch.
दिल से बोलता हूँ VCT is
That would
incomplete
have been a
without
bad
Binks
one
watch
for
party.
C9 to let
लव
slip.
यार.
At G2 with only 2
क्या
players
निकाला बे
left.
Moose
And
ने?
finding kills in spots where they're at long range with the Stinger jiggle deacon. It did not feel like they should have been favored. But there's so many angles that they could swing from. I think they caught the Cloud9 players a little off guard. Heading into another rifle round, that damage is going to keep the economy somewhat honest for C9, but it's still heading a little bit out of control. Zephyr.
भाई बार-बार वो लोग मिड का टरेट तोड़ रहे हैं.
He's
बार-बार.
going to have to thrash on the first rifle round.
What happens when you just get these wins on the attack side? Get the plan constantly, get
कुछ
the
नहीं करने, एकदम slow. पहला blind दिया, फिर drone, फिर yellow recon, फिर दूसरा
This is
blind.
very similar. G2 triple pushing down mid.
Hunter's Fury. This is being used. Catching the backside player. One tag, 2 tags, enough to get at least a kill.
बोले बस retake wall नहीं है अभी.
Drops down now, forced to take the spectator seat.
Oxy ult में guys.
Just of G2 now also left to simmer.
Retweet हो
Look at this
जाता तो.
pause. Just being inserted into the round.
आज birthday South by many happy returns of the day.
Viper fuel back online, so as soon as the wall's back up, now you're seeing the plan come through. Drop down though, maybe just to try and fight them. Catching T2 potentially when they were setting up, and yet not aware.
इधर घुसा है बे बंदा.
Vanity already pressed up, taking all that space. There's an ult wasted. At least still lands it.
They've got to be careful not to toss this one away. Previous round got very close. Zephyr takes a challenge against Valorant and throws his life away.
If Leaf won that, maybe there was a chance and a possibility, but
yeah, maybe.
At this point, 1v3, Vanity or Valorant.
Crazy.
Got to be thinking about giving this one up. Oxy on the hunt. He knows that the money's
कितना
running
सब यार 4-5
short. Free
घंटा.
fire. Just hearing footsteps. Valorant. Got to stay alive in the spot.
Yeah, I mean the kills are valuable to some degree because it's going to keep C9.
भाई speed run हो रहा है बे. 5 का 5 round B पे गए वो लोग कुछ नहीं कर
The
पा रहे.
economy's going to be fairly heavily out of control here. As close as map 1 was. Uneven halves for sure, but very close between the two teams. Both excelling on defense, struggling on attack.
इसलिए KO
Looking
लेने
like they
का
had
बे.
good game plans. I mean, this
Suppress के
map
साथ
looks like G2 are getting
double blind,
outclassed.
double pop flash.
C9 have got great
अबे ये लोग
change-ups
के
of
पास भी
tempo,
कैसा दो blind
good
है. रेना
ideas.
blind, Gecko
They're
blind.
playing
Double
aggressively
blind
on
हमेशा
site,
काम
and
आता है.
G2 can't figure out where they are.
चाहे
I mean,
कुछ
look,
भी हो.
there's no way that IC expected Vanity to be in that kind of position.
Yeah, even the side take there. I mean, the wall goes up, the plan goes down, and just baiting G2 into the setup.
Yeah.
And then they just drop the wall and fight together.
Editing में easy है. वो लोग बहुत slow खेले ना. पहला blind डालते हैं, कुछ pressure है नहीं है. फिर drone, कुछ pressure है नहीं है. फिर recon, फिर कुछ pressure है नहीं
And
है.
this G2 composition excels at
और
retakes if
pressure
they're
है तो
given the
hold करो,
space to do so.
push mark करो,
And
फिर
one of the
util
big
जाएगा,
reasons that
फिर
we've
push
seen them
करो.
lose on this map is because they go up against teams who are willing to challenge them aggressively. People looking to push in
Then
post
जैसा aim
fights
कैसे
and
रहने का
space.
regards and one player.
I
खेलते
mean,
रहने
this is
का
going to
bro.
be very difficult for G2 to
Aim
figure
पे
out
add
how to
करने का,
score.
कम bullets में
Looks
मारने
really
का try
refined
करने
from
का.
Cloud9.
Start for them though might be trying to fight over some of these orbs, because it's been very easy access over B. Not too much fight presence from G2 over B main.
It's kind of difficult to fight over B main though when you have a no duelist composition.
Yeah, and you're up against the Reyna.
You could do some
and the Gecko.
re-clear, yeah, you could do some re-clear fighting if you had KO Gecko. But
Reyna ulti
with
full round
one
हो गया.
Dizzy,
Reyna अच्छा तो है.
you're going to be able to really put a lot of pressure onto the B main
Reyna अच्छा है.
players.
सिर्फ वही है कि
It is. I think their comp is
pace वाला नहीं है. जैसा Ascent हो गया ना. Ascent वाले में तुम लोगों को solo Reyna कभी नहीं दिखाई देगा. कभी नहीं.
And it's not that it's
तो
terrible.
इसमें घुसते का
It's not
रहता
that you
है.
can't win
इसमें
with
क्या
it.
थोड़ा-थोड़ा angle
It's
clear
just
करके
difficult.
घुस सकते हैं.
And on the other side of things, C9
A1 में तुम
put
लोगों को नहीं
themselves,
देखने मिलेगा
thanks to
solo
their
Reyna कभी भी.
incredible regular season record in stage 1 of 5-1. They've got all the room in the world to experiment. They probably need maybe another one on the board, one match win to be able
Bind में
to
खेल सकते हैं.
just solidify their spot in playoffs. And then it's all just about how you perform there. So if there ever was a time to experiment, to see whether Reyna works for Oxy, to throw in some Neon or
सच
ISO
बता
picks
आपने
as we
C9
head
को stats बताए
deeper
ना.
into their map pool. It would be now.
Yeah, we got that breathing room.
देखा double blind किया, recon किया, yellow खाली.
A heavy stack of G2
Wall
on
down
half
किया,
right.
reset.
Doesn't come to fruition, but a fast to
इसका
follow all
counter
these
क्या
noise
मालूम है? अब
cues.
भी
And it's
ये
so
लोग जो अभी रुके हैं
similar
ना,
over and over again.
ये लोग
So
को
they
clear
just
करना पड़ेगा.
take B main control with a lot of their refreshable
Sprint करो,
utility. The Dizzy being
Sound
used,
मारो,
recon, wall,
fight करो.
and then they go for the exec, and they take a lot of space when they do.
Slam down to Dizzy forwards, immediately broken. Zephyr was out of position, out of nowhere. Still Vanity.
They still don't expect him.
Yep. Now he's got a pit as well. He's going to be layering this one deep across the site. It's going to be making it hard to pass. Shot darts, long range.
Scanning ahead.
G2 not wasting time getting themselves into this spot here, but rifle in hand, Oxy. Already chewing them up. Down to just Trent already with the decay damage, 1 HP to his name, so very little opportunity, and Cloud9 know it. Just from spamming through into the pit. 6 rounds in a row. This next one coming up is going to be the important one, but again, just the amount of wins that Cloud9 will be able to get on themselves. Zephyr's had this ult now for about 2 rounds, maybe 3. Yeah. They've still got this pivotal buy round.
Yeah, they had it round 3. They
Same चीज एक बंदा लर्क वो लोग के लग गए
And look,
A पे लर्क किया वो लोग के
he's
लग
still
गए
getting caught out, and the way that they're not expecting Oxy to be in these kind of spots. I feel like there's still a little bit of a lack of awareness from G2. 6 rounds in, the Cloud9 are going to be on site. They're going to be on site, they're going to be deep on site, and they're going to be fighting you. And normally teams are only going to do that when they run a double smokes comp. We see a lot of the Viper Clove or Viper Omen comps go for those kind of positionings. But they're doing it just off Oxy's Reyna. And that is not a good start for G2 in this round.
Really not.
फिर से भी जा रहे
See G2 trying to make those adaptations as well with their setup. They started with 3 players over towards B main, a high tide ripped across.
But Vanity's already 1 step ahead.
Exactly.
Like, all right, well, we've been doing this B play over and over again. They're going to have an adjustment for it. Let's go kill Icy over on A.
Blind दिया और बुटाओ
Now that they got that opening pickup.
Result
Defense is going to be weaker inherently. They have to spread fewer players across the map. Lockdown used by Moose. Lockdown for a lockdown.
Yeah, not choosing to use the Sober ult to break it.
Oh, Hunter's Fury. Or Trent might get punished here, surely. Pushed up. No, it's being covered. So Vanity was seeking to at least do that damage. Valen was covering it over the shoulder. Moves.
Oh,
it's a messy spray. Onto the high ground here. 30 seconds remaining for Cloud9.
Arbor wall must है लेकिन ये लोग अभी वापस push करेंगे.
A 3v3. With Vanity going down, don't have the luxury of just waiting for the high tide to go down, put the wall back up, have to offend some of these ults. Thrash going to be used to clear the way. Up across the rope, seeing the barrel. No, did Oxy miss it? Still adjust!
What the
Snaps to the head.
fuck?
And everything's being met and found with overwhelming firepower. It's a Cloud9 classic.
Remember what I was talking about earlier, the difference between Oxy on attack and defense the last 2 times that these teams met. On defense, he was still finding huge amounts of value. On attack, G2 shut him down. Oxy could not find the entries. Would you believe it watching Icebox? Not a chance! Look at him, he's just wandering around wherever he wants. Finding pigs, left, right, and center.
ब्रिज के बारे में क्या ख्याल है मेरा फेवरेट कुछ मैप में चलेगा बाइंड हो गया स्प्लिट हो गया
Because you can walk your way into that spot as other agents, but you're going 1 for 1.
Yeah.
With the Reyna, you get the kill, you're out. Your teammates can cover the retreat.
But as a secondary in this
This is all being teed up for a dominant map from Cloud9. Look at this, against the halfway round, conditioned heavily over towards B. Now they set their sights over towards A.
Show me the 13-0. I mean, it's looking like it.
So like it, man.
G2 surely going to be able to win rounds here or there. Maybe a Thrifty would be a good one to get them started, but it almost feels like they're out of it already.
Yeah. Oxy's forwards will get taken out. Shot from the Sheriff, but Leaf not expecting it. Look at him! Can't fight over the backside.
One likes done. Love you.
It was a half buy, but dude, I'm telling you, Cloud9, we got too many good ideas about this one, and G2 are just not making those adjustments. The comp just can't do it.
Yeah, the comp does struggle with it too. When Vanity gets into a rhythm like this, he destroys teams. When he's got a good feel of his team are having success and he knows what adjustments his opponent's going to make, he's always 1 step ahead. Look how he's predicting the adaptations that Vanity's making, and he's always finding the next layer to it. He's very good at staying in control when he's in control. Does he have some weaknesses with making the adjustments when things are struggling? Yeah, I would say so. But here, no issues whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, that spells desperation.
Ready था बे, वो भी off पे था.
At just the right time.
भाई ready था bro.
Just diffs him. Shuts him down.
It just feels like they're in the comms of G2.
Yeah. By full ready था bro. What the fuck?
Again, same spot. Moose not able to collect it with the bullets, but again, that opening pickoff surely sets him up nicely. Moose as well, causing all sorts of chaos into mid. Finally traded, cleaned up. Vulnerable though, applied. Jonah P is steady. Can't quite land it, not with the aim. There's too much util just flying forwards.
गलत बे हर जगह डबल ब्लाइंड पे wall down blind.
Okay, well they do manage to clean up the one. Oxy just trying to transition back over towards safety with the rest of his team. It is a 2v3. Trent manages to find that. Hello, now it's a possibility. Wasn't looking like it prior, but definitely know what his players might be. Rooney, crucial and critical kill. Shakhtar just pre-fired onto the corner. Trent almost finding it. Damage done to them. Dart at the attempt at the timing. Knows where the last player is. No more util, and it all comes down to ring around the rosies. And Trent making all the noise, and Rooney knows it. Toying with him.
भाई knife चला रहा है वो.
Not for the fight.
Beautifully done. 9 in a row. Trent with
Ace
the
मारा
consolation ace.
क्या
I mean,
फायदा?
that's got to be one of the most gutting feelings.
Yeah.
You get the clip,
भाई
but
ये
at what
देखो
cost?
बे.
Oxy's
उसको
so
मालूम था वो pick
Icy
करेगा
is
bro.
holding
What
for
the
the wide
fuck?
swing. Just thinking, well, yeah, why on earth would he shallow swing with an off? But again, G2 are just one step behind. Oh, that's just so brutal the way that Rooney's toying with
करेगा
Trent
इसने
there.
अच्छा था मस्त था.
And that's the kind of vibes that Cloud9 love. Again, they're a team that loves being in control. Do they maybe, again, have a
भाई
choking
क्वेश्चन
problem
ये है
when
कि
they
क्या वो लोग
start
mental
to
reset
see
कर
things
पाएंगे for
spiraling
the
away
map
from them?
3?
Maybe, and that's a conversation that we'll revisit once we get to playoffs. And
Like,
the
they have
pressure's
to
on.
be
But right
ready
now, once more in the regular season, this time in stage 2, Cloud9 on their map pick are
I think वो
utterly
something
in
है. भाई
control.
अच्छा player है
There
भाई.
are no
बहुत प्यारा
openings for
player है.
G2 whatsoever.
Yeah. I believe this is the last time out to be used by G2 already in this first half, so
yeah,
using all of it already. If the adaptations haven't come in now, at this point, it does feel too little too late.
It certainly does, but that's not going to stop them trying, is it?
No, of course not.
What is the ideal
Save the
comp for
timeout
any
and
map?
get a
ऐसा कुछ
third
नहीं
one
है.
for Lotus.
Every map
Doesn't work like that.
is different.
One of the things that I think
Comps are
G2
different.
should have a protocol
Players
for, I'm a bit disappointed they
are
they don't
different.
seem to.
Vibes of
when
players
teams
are
like to take
different.
snowman control like that, holding up towards
There is no one proper
this spot
comp
in,
except for
the top
Ascent.
of,
Ascent में you
kitchen,
need a
where you're on the kitchen looking
KO,
towards the
you
bridge
need
at
a
the top of B
Sova,
nest.
you need a
You play
Omen.
anti-flash, you can
You
swing
need
out.
Jet, you
You've got
need
really nice
Killjoy.
spots. And instead they keep trying to fight forwards and fighting in nest itself. These are not good positions, I don't think.
My goodness, with the reveal, almost to punish Jonah P with a pit. Darted though. Oxy will have to respect this.
Now, G2 have got some great ultimates here to go for some kind of retake strategy. Harbor ult into the Hunter's Fury is pretty fantastic.
Silent jump up. No one's watching Belt for Jonah P.
Right here.
Slight blind spot for him, and he could get overwhelmed quite quickly. Look at how close they are to him. Drone heard. Surely some util goes flying forwards. Yes, with the molly, but I believe it missed, and already is around to the side. They've caught him out. The pitch dropped down. There's a weak defense and so much awareness across the board. Leaf just wasn't expecting it. Oxy, of course, is going to take these liberties. This guy so willing to fight. Reckoning, Dizzy, a miss, a rebound here, and a fight forwards. Valen finally with a cleanup. Detainment, it's there with the Thrash finally utilized. G2, every ult at their disposal and finally being expended to potentially getting a round win, a 2v3.
क्या कुछ है? Smoke break.
Grouping up together now. Playing this one, and with the walls falling and fading away, finally,
Finally,
they go on the
way.
board.
Finally.
The dreams
Got
of
some
the
blame
13-0
on
are
new
dead.
maps and company.
This is tragedy. Yeah, it's good ultimates there for G2. They use all three of them though, and that's
Very
the only round that
unlikely.
they've been able to put on the board. And not only did they have to use the ults, but also Valen had to shut down Oxy. Oxy there had forced a 1v1 that if he wins, that's probably the round again. This kill right here, a massive one.
Possibility है for
They struggle
execute.
with it in every other round.
लेकिन you
9-1.
need the Molly
Is there any chance
lineup.
that Cloud9 are going to be worse on the defense side? I
Simplican
just
Neon
don't think
के
so
साथ
with Oxy playing Reyna.
full fast
There's
ये
so
लोग
many ways that he can play Reyna and disrespect
plant के
G2's
लिए निकल
utility.
सकते हैं.
Feels unlikely.
Get
Abyss में.
advantages. You know, even if G2 make it 3 at the half,
Possibility
I'm struggling
है.
to see how that
I-
could be enough.
उसने
Oh, and
miss
Jonah
किया.
B's missed the
Yeah,
as well.
whiffage with the orb, so the one-way's not set up. Can't pick that one back up.
When it rains, it pours.
But a stack of
कैसे
free
find
players to
लेंगे
make
भाई?
this.
Zepa के पास ult है.
Might be exactly what G2 ordered. We'll find out. It's a Dizzy and a refight together. Surprised that nobody was really ready for it. But there's going to be the thrash, at least used. The Tane, Jonah P, skipping and hopping around. It needs to be defended. This team should have his back. Rooney, precise. One bullet did it.
Yeah, Rooney had shock darts as well that he could have tried to pop into Jonah. I don't think they realized quite how low Jonah P was. It tells you a lot about how the game's going that I really feel like this 2v4 might be winnable for C9. See whether G2 give them anything.
Is that going to be deep enough? Oh, just narrowly avoided. Jonah P, 5 HP. One left to stand and one will fall. Second round on the board. G2.
Going for that reclear strategy over towards B. I was talking about the fact that with the KO Gecko, then that's a really good strat. I didn't think it would work just with one Dizzy.
Best controller, Omen Club, दोनों अच्छे.
Really high up in the air, and actually caught Oxy dead to rights. The rest of C9 swinging in to try to punish and couldn't win the duels. So they got value out of it, but it took them so long to try something like that.
Yeah. Surprisingly enough as well with how dominant this has been for Cloud9. Money taking a bit of a tumble as a Spectre purchase for Vanity. Rifles, the Guardian for Rooney. The money is getting a little bit weak now. Full throttle. Sending it over towards the A site. It's Cloud9's plan. It's going to be a high tide, but will that stop them? Doesn't look likely. Neverlear going to be committed.
Double plan, recon.
Lots of spaces where potentially G2 could be anchoring, and they definitely swarmed it with enough players now. And with Oxy shut down, that should open up the floodgates. G2 now surely feeling like they can play this into deeper positions, and again that weapon disadvantage affecting with Vanity not winning that fight. It's Leaf online. 3 so far in a round, 2 players left to stand. The charge against him. Gecko with the defuse, look at that, Wingman already getting the half online.
Crazy!
It doesn't matter.
Oh boy,
crazy! But the Killjoy on the side slaps down
Rebound
G2's
net
hopes.
कितना OP था और वो तोड़ भी नहीं सकते थे.
Curses be damned, we're not getting the 9-3.
That looked so set up for it.
It did, but I think it's fair that this ends 10-2, to be honest with you. It's just been so dominant for Cloud9.
Really has.
They've barely had chances, G2, and even when they have, some of them have gone awry like this one.
Cloud9 clearly been doing their homework on this map here. I mean, map 1 was a tale of, you know, 2 sides, 2 teams being comfortable on the defensive half of Ascent. We'll find out if that's the case still here onto Icebox, but so far it feels like Cloud9 have just got all the work done for them.
मत बोले, ये सब मत बोले. I am very humble. Stats मैंने बताया, लेकिन मैं कभी बोला नहीं.
All right, so here we are, 10-2. G2 just getting shellacked on Icebox. It has been a rough one for them, and even seeing it too. Just small things like, you know, like the coordination, some elements that G2 are typically very known to perform at a great effect, Mel. Not working out for them here. They're getting dismantled by Cloud9.
It's kind of shocking too, the fact that it's coming off of a half where they were on the receiving end of a comeback, and it was a really close game, 13-11 they just lost, and for Cloud9 to come out so dominant, it felt like Cloud9 could do no wrong. I feel like they were, like, as Brendan Sideshow put it, in their comms. There's a round where I'm like, okay, Icy's playing it for beaming with an op, and then he just gets attack opped by Oxy.
Yeah.
And it's stuff like that where when you're on the G2 side of things, it really feels like you can't get anything going. I mean, at the end of the half, G2 ended up having like the re-clear with the molly, but whatever C9 wanted to do, B hit,
Hello, Bunks Baji. Hello.
Everything was
Guided मुझे best gun लगते हैं.
Answer for that B-man control. They tried with the op, and yeah, it just didn't work because of Oxy, because how good he's been on the solid so far. I'm excited to see it on the defense, though. I do think this new dismiss is secretly powerful. I think it's honestly being pretty underrated. So I'm looking forward to seeing the kind of positions that he can take now that the dismiss gets you more distance, just because of how fast you move within it. You can play new positions that, you know, the opposing side they won't be ready for because Arena couldn't be there before.
Yeah, I mean, now the question on all of our minds is, how does G2 find their way back into this one? Can they even find their way back into this? It's going to be a difficult climb back to the top here. Cloud9 pretty much on the precipice of being able to force this map 3. Let's send it back over to the casters.
Manraj Paji hai.
Yeah, not really too much to say, is there? I mean, Cloud9.
भाई मेरे को ये बंदा चाहिए, बजन सिंगा. ये बजन सिंगा और पीटर जॉन. किधर है पता नहीं. Redman कैसा है रे? कैसे चल रहा है आरफी?
The pistol round.
Yeah, I feel like Oxy should be even better on the defense. The way that Reyna works, the angles that you can play, they're running a bait and switch for him right on the pistol. Vanity and Zeppa here supposed to distract so that Oxy can get value.
भी नहीं हुआ. सोचो.
Holding this up close and personal. Seeking a fight here with the drone. Is there going to be anybody breaking this one?
आज भाई तो बहुत minus में
These players, I believe, they didn't spot it. Noxy still ready to just start to pluck apart these players, but the movement is nice and tricky. Still the shot cancelled away. Zeppa firing off on all cylinders.
By short relief.
He's going to get cheeky now.
That's a big
Heavy
one.
Let's
shot.
go for the A-lurks, and he's finally going to be rewarded, at least in this instance.
Yeah, that's huge. Opens up the site, actually gives them an opportunity there. Argument to be made that Moose should have been playing that a little safer, but I think credit to be given to Leaf, and he's got himself into another position, looking to try to win the round out, basically right here with this swing.
Yeah, I'm shocked at least the dart itself. But
By
not
Leaf
expecting that Leaf would already be up there. 1v2. Vanity.
Love you.
Already playing this one so nicely.
Peter
G2
John
not willing to really give
Peter
anything away.
John.
If Fantasy can try and catch this timing. Valen is looking in multiple directions.
वो भी नहीं देखा मेरे को.
Spotted, yes, just ever so slightly. Shots through the box, but Leaf with the wraparound eventually.
दो round में भी देख रहे हो? हाँ?
So C9 get the first pistol round, G2 respond with the other. But are we really going to see G2 run all of the rifle rounds back?
Number 1 पे 21 है.
Get it on Ascent.
Certainly doesn't seem likely.
Yeah, it doesn't seem likely.
I mean, this round as well, remember, Oxy kind of whiffed. The setup worked. Oxy had a timing to be able to peek out, grab one, and he just missed the shot. That's not going to happen that often. His aim is very good. So G2 getting away with it just a little bit there, and Leaf also doing a great job of being able to open things up on the other side of the map.
Hi. Flip all कर
They're
दिया.
going to be using a wingman. Pushed the back. I believe spotted Oxy, even though it was broken. G2, they know that the push is coming, man. I mean, they're up against Nico around, and Jonathan's just holding forward at that slightest of all angles.
There was a world.
Yeah.
One of the interesting
जब ये
things
मार
about
के
G2
सुई
at
करके
Shanghai
निकलता
was
था.
that they frequently were finding themselves just getting dominated on one
940
map
yards
in a
से बड़ी नहीं रहे.
BO3 and then still winning anyway. Usually it was the first one, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah, that was the narrative going around, right?
But I think it's a similar kind of thing to this, in the sense that it didn't knock their morale, right? If you're trying to learn anything from that kind of pattern, it would just be that they're not going to dwell on losses. So even if C9 very cleanly closed this out with like 13-4 scoreline or something, I think G2 are going to be good enough to be able to reset for Lotus.
I completely agree with that.
On the other side, though, another thing that you could point to is that they weren't able to make comebacks happen because they did get blown out on maps. Like, for example, the 13-1 against T1.
But this is, it's weird to think about it, but G2 are one of our, most experienced, core rosters at this point.
Yeah.
I still think of them as, this guard duo that was new to Reykjavik and didn't quite make their mark on an international stage, but the amount of experience they've built up now, just in Tier 2, find themselves here at Shanghai making the deepest run out of all the teams from the Americas.
Absolutely. They've been to 2 international events, placed on the podium in the most recent, and they had the experience to win in Ascension.
Yeah.
They are giving it to Leaf. I mean, Leaf was giving it to Vanity in the previous round as well, so, it's all...
next किसके आगे पता नहीं.
It's brutal when that kind of stuff happens. The children have to split their time.
They
spend the weekends with Leaf.
Yeah.
That's a long-range duel.
Yeah, okay.
But Rifle's back online. If there's any hope of a comeback happening, it would have to start here.
Bonus round conversion. Do you start believing?
No. No.
Actually, में निकाल भी सकते bonus round. क्योंकि उनके पास guns तो है.
I'll keep trying to pull it out of you.
Yeah, no. But I think it's less to do with what the scoreline actually is and more if it looks like G2 have got a really good idea of what to do on their attack side. This composition's got really big ultimates to play around, but they're not going to be active all the time, so it's difficult to get that old cycle working for you.
Yeah.
भाई येलो खाली कर रहे
थे drone. Interesting pathing. That's
quite good.
Yeah. Zeppa's going to be forced out of position here from this. Look at the spam and the damage. No bullets going to be tagging and slowing them down. Vanity Just trying to provide
क्या
that
ये लो
covering
clear किया
fire.
ना?
Meanwhile, Oxy glued to his position in
भाई
maze.
बहुत प्यारा ये लो clear
And
किया
he
बे.
is not giving them an opportunity to go back over towards A. But it also means that he might be out of this round completely.
And they're relying on Leaf to potentially get something done. Might not want to go for the committal, but it does reveal his position there with an Nano Swarm being thrown.
Yeah, Oxy's
drops down.
Red alert.
Oxy, yeah, on point. Timing was kind of given essentially to him here, and now Cloud9 can stack this one freely, knowing that Leaf has been caught out of the mix, out of the picture. Vanity inside that cove, make sure that he just really asserts himself in that position. Cloud9 overwhelming him now. They've got all the weaponry available. Plan still here for G2. See the extension into the round with Jonah P. Isn't that forward angle still? He's going to have to take a few more risks, I think, to make this one possible. Leah in his face. Blinded. Oh, big lines up!
Oh, no.
Jonah P! Surely don't do this to him. The professor at work. Score might be in session, but still it's a 1v2. It's a lot to overcome. Just the foots peeking out over the edge, dropping down, Lou!
Okay,
Barely any time to reset his aim, but still hits the shot.
Great effort from Jonah P, who was fantastic throughout Shanghai, especially at the beginning of that event. But too little, too late, and C9 still overcome.
Sexy round था बे
Oxy
जाना
does such a
पिता.
great job there of not, you know, overthinking things and not so much overthinking, but rotating to want to be part of the action, I think, is a very common flaw of duelists. Oh, I've got to go where they're going. And instead, just holds his time, super patient, rewarded for that patience. And allows his team to focus on the B hit when it comes through. And good awareness from Vanity as well, gets inside the cove, dominates that space so that Valen can't make a play. Again, just showcasing that C9 are so far ahead of what G2 are doing. They know that Leaf loves to learn.
Yeah, alone.
He's always aggressive on that side of the map.
This time punished.
By heavy ult.
The heavy presence of all those players. This is Rooney offloading a Hunter's Fury. Unorthodox for the position, but I guess when the entirety of A is afforded to, you can do it.
And they've just got the read. I mean, when Leaf is that far forward on his own, they know that it's everybody else over towards B.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Vanity's just got an internal map of exactly where the G2 players are positioned. Too easy for him at the moment.
G2 are going to be forced to slow this one
into
the mid round. Think the walls. Finally some fuel left in the chamber, so Jonah P can get that wall up now for the plan. Okay, an exchange there with the mollies. Mosh pit down and around. A lot of spam and a lot of bullets exchanged, but Jonah P spotted. Going for the aggressive angle and play.
And Moose holding in a spot that G2 were trying to make work, but G2 were getting pushed by Arena. Moose doesn't have to worry about that.
Cascade there. A lot of damage onto these players. A tap from Vanity finally to committal, at least with that wingman. IC gets it, but half onto the defuse. It's being defended almost fully, entirely. 12 round. Gained and granted. Cloud9 up to it. One more step is all they need to take to get to Lotus.
Match point.
This is looking dangerous for any future opponents of Cloud9. Icebox looks good for them
क्या scene
Attack,
उनका
defense,
matches कब है? I think
they've got solid ideas, good understanding of what their opponents are going to try to do. I'd like to see them go up against a team with a more fresh comp. I do think that G2's needs adjusting. They tried to do that in the middle of Masters, but they just didn't find anything they really liked.
Yeah.
They tried running the Sage for a bit, and they were like, nah, it doesn't really work.
And G2 are just facing that reality that comes with, you play at these international events, guess what? Cloud9 weren't spending 2 months just twiddling their thumbs, but we might see an explosive end to the map just here and now. These one-way positions, one at tons from Zephyr, tagged up by the drone, still just oscillating wildly with the movement. It's G2. Managed to overwhelm that position, still here, just trying to dodge and juke it away, but you can't escape it. Thrash hunting.
Yeah, movement
just down the IGL with Vanity falling. It's a gap in the smoke, not enough for Rooney to play around.
चलेगा बे, बहुत rounds है बे, बहुत rounds है. Next Swords में भी ये लोग निकाल
save here. There's really no chance in hell that he's going to go for it.
Too many rounds.
There's no shot whatsoever. Zephyr's also only got 200 credits, so saving a weapon here is useful. Vanity was scrambling in that spot. He's giggling as he got caught by the Thrash. And he's recon darted Thrash, desperately trying to backpedal in that situation. But some important duels there, won by G2. They were holding, ready for C9 to go for the swings, punishing them. It's going to be important, but it would have to be, you know, another 7 in a row.
Yeah, you don't believe yet, do you?
No,
I don't need to ask the question yet?
No, you don't need to ask the question whatsoever.
Okay.
But
wait a little bit.
No, you don't have to wait.
चलो मैं जा रहा
I'll give you the
है
answer in
No,
perpetuity.
I'll wait a little bit. I know the right time.
Yeah.
क्रैश नर्फ होगा नहीं
When it's a real comeback and a fake comeback.
उसका अल्टी अच्छा है तोड़ भी सकते बैलेंस्ड अल्टी है उसका
Yeah, just trying to fight this one up close and personal here from Cloud9. Even without a Thrash being used, the Thrash was just a cherry on top. They were just getting dominated by the util that G2 had available to them.
But C9 have the opportunity to take those kind of risks because
bye
they
bye
were at
Radhe
12-4. Yeah, they've got 8 chances now, down to 7.
Good night, Bunks. Bye. Milte
Right
ka
on the
done
screen. But they've got so many opportunities to take risks, and eventually one will probably pay off. And they can especially take risks on rounds like this.
Now why not a little bit of a mid-play? Sweeping through with a reckoning. No golden beams of light pointing towards any player, so they know the site is entirely cleared out. They will be able to save some util for the post. Leave for the plan. Not being pushed back in time. It's a fast flip by Cloud9. They want to try and play into this one. There's a Viper's Pit. Lay it down with a lockdown. This will be broken. I believe there's an angle. They do manage to get themselves into that 4-10 position. Up and over the top of the rope. Zephyr, this is a risky job. Risky business. Awesome. He can't find anybody. He's going to be detained right behind them. And up and over the ropes, they just don't know.
They're not going to think he's here.
Damn sneaky. Leave this down. There's no way, Zephyr. Just, oh my goodness. Survives the entire time and damage to the Valor means he was a softened up target. Already through and around Vanity. A tap onto it, forcing it through with a Thrash. He's right above them. None the wiser, detained up. Right clicks, knife out. Shanking him in place. Cloud9. That's the way they do it. Okay.
Oh, that's simply
भाई
amazing
क्या
stuff.
दिमाग का ये
Eventually the risk pays off and we did not have to wait long. What a glorious ending to Icebox. Disrespectful in nature. And I think just the cherry on the cake of an absolutely dominant map pick.
भाई ये बाप था बे
Their Icebox looks scary.
It does.
कल अपना स्ट्रीम क्यों बंद हो गया था नेट गया था
Play at the end. It's like Imi was saying in the coach interview, you know, they've had 2 months
भाई
to
ये
work.
बाप था ये बाप था
Disappointed at the end of Ascent, but I think that 2 months really paid
Damn
off.
है,
Just being
Immortal,
showcased from Icebox.
what diamond
Beginning to end.
हो जाए
It wasn't a one-sided show like it was on Ascent, where it was just the one half of the map that's really dominant. They had a lot of stuff, a lot of different looks. Time for a quick break. When we return, the analysts, of course, are getting us all nice and ready for that critical
क्या ये नाइफ
vital
के
map
वजह से
number 3.
G2 भड़केगा और नेक्स्ट मैच जीतेगा इज द क्वेश्चन बहुत दिन बाद आए हो स्ट्रीम पर कॉलेज एंड जॉब के जगह मैं एक गीली चुन्नी दे दो लव यू यार सक्सेना लव यू गुड नाइट बग्स बाय पे के गुड नाइट क्या लगता है कौन जीतेगा भाई बाप खेल रहे हैं दोनों टीम्स लेकिन भींचुत Your top 5 players for an ideal team. Benji Fishy, Tens, Forsaken, मैं, Booster. सारे मिलके shout out. कल Demon Slayer साथ में देखेंगे on TV. आज ही देखूंगा भाई मैं हेलो. सोते आ गए ऑलरेडी. कल वापस वॉच पार्टी है फैनेटिक और उसका कितना बजे खत्म होएगा पता है क्या कल तो भाई ये भी चालू हो रहा है ओके बाय आई विल वॉच ये गया एक टाइम पे अपना भी ट्वीट्स आते थे इधर
कैंसिल हो गया
Red Bull gives you wings.
Valen feeling some of the pressure. They swing into him. He gets 3 on the round.
Has that support from Zeppa close range. No U till the half out. So this allows Oxy to pop off.
Cloud9 come back with a vengeance, and they're able to pick up that second map win, and now they'll enjoy some delicious potassium. All right, folks, you are back here at the desk with GB, Mel, Wyatt, and Bala as we break down what we've seen so far. And what we saw was Cloud9 just absolutely trouncing G2 round after round. And Bala, it really did feel like G2 just did not have an answer at all.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of seen this situation for G2 before. They've gotten stomped on maps like this.
Yeah.
I actually T1 at Shanghai in one of their opening games. They got demolished 13-1 on this one. So it's a map that they've been struggling with. They've had highs and lows, and this one definitely, unfortunately, was a big low.
Yeah, it's interesting, too, because back in Stage 1, this was their go-to pick for many weeks in a row.
Yeah.
They were rolling teams on it. Leaf was a beast playing KJ on this map. His stats were out of control. He was getting almost a kill per round. And then at some point, I think it was a loss against Loud, things just completely changed for them. They have not been able to find a remedy to, you know, this fallen map for them.
Yes. I know, man. Loud, you know, they'll rattle your brain clearly there. But, you know, you can see the results as they play out for themselves, 13-5. And really, I think what boils down in this game from what I saw was, you know, yes, you had some heroic moments from, you know, like the likes of Valen. You had some decent moments from Jonah P. Leaf even had some moments there. But that's really what it was, Mel. It was just a collection of moments from G2 scrambling by to try and find success anywhere they could. C9 had a plan of attack, and they played it perfect.
And I also want to highlight for Cloud9 that we always talk about the Oxy, like, superstar.
Oh, that's so cool. They have those Pride Months
I want to highlight the fact that there was actually very even scoreboard. We were expecting the Reina to be like dropping 30.
Yeah.
Really even 14-14 scoreline, and Rudy's actually MVP for Cloud9. So it really was like a team effort. I do feel like there was little misses from G2 on some of the rounds where people are like solo peeking. There's like util set up for everyone to swing together, but I don't know. I feel like it was actually a good team win from Cloud9.
Yeah, for sure. But the thing is, though, is that this does kind of bring back a narrative, if you will, of C9, you know, not being the best when it comes to the first map. As you can see. This is down. So that's not a disagree. You're just, you know, it's just down. So the stocks are low. But now C9 wins map 2. Oh, might need to flip it around. Oh, wait a minute. There you go. That's right. Exactly. C9, they get a thumbs up on map 2, but can they get a thumbs up on map 3?
See, I'll tell you,
It'll be tough.
easy.
The last time they played this, it was against G2. Yeah,
easy way to increase your mal. Chat में active रहने का every 5 minutes or so write a message. तो वो points 10 points तुम्हें मिलते जाएगा. Secondly, super chat और membership पे ज़्यादा points होते हैं. Flip करना तो पूरा मत flip करो एक साथ. थोड़ा flip करो एक साथ. ठीक है? और हाइस्ट या कुछ हो तो वो ज्वाइन कर लेना. Easy way to increase your mark.
Was like, no, he ran Neon game one. No, he didn't run it in map one. Actually, it was Icy who did it instead, and we're not really going to get much in the way of changes here. I mean, I've seen these compositions many times.
Just informing you,
do we sleep or are we awake?
I'm sleeping, but it's a good comp.
It is. It's a good comp.
This is why I don't sleep right here. And no.
Oxy Rays.
Viper on Lotus. You know what's interesting? In NACL, not a single team plays Viper on Lotus. It's only really tier 1 teams. This is interesting.
Okay, well, we're about to find out why. Let's see if this pans out for G2. It's time to jump in to map number 3. Is C9 going to close this out and get their revenge? Let's find out. Send it back over to Brennan and Sight.
It all lands here on Lotus, and yeah, I mean, going for the agent select, nothing too out of the ordinary. I mean, we were treated, I think, yesterday with just complete
insanity.
Complete insanity in
Up
terms of the compositions as well. You know, Mel making an interesting point as well. The Viper return of AC on Lotus, which is pretty rare. A lot of teams are kind of drifting away from it actually at this point in the meta after the nerfs that she's had. But we'll see how this ends up playing out. It's still a good comp to be played from both of these teams.
Well, it is a bit unusual from C9. The addition of the Breach, in particular, I mean, moving away from the Viper and getting that double initiator online is not standard.
आपका sleep cycle बोलो ना.
I think that's mostly where my eyes are drawn to.
यही है मेरा sleep cycle. सुबह 6-7 बजे सो जाओ, 11 बजे उठ जाओ.
Because I think that's what's defined. At least the map too, at least Icebox.
Good morning, good morning.
Heavy presence here by Cloud9 out towards C-Mound.
दिन में 3 stream. दूसरी बार है ये तो.
I mean, G2.
परसों भी कभी तो किया था.
We know the style of this team, how they like to play. Chances, Moose, almost punished. Way out of the real chance of him potentially getting picked off, but once more, they just group up, hold the space. They're going to make sure that they put Leaf into that 4 position over towards Mao.
Oh,
Jonah P, that is a nasty one.
Maki Ank shot.
Home over towards the A side.
Maki Ank.
We'll know that for sure, but just the fact that Zephyr was jiggling like that might give them some indication that there's only max 1 player left. C9 really thought that this was a re-hit over towards C, and now they're starting to scramble. But we can see that it's ending B as well. So C9, the defensive rotation's getting pulled all over the place very early on because of VALORANT's calling.
30 seconds left.
Clearance into the corner there with a trip broken 2. Paranoia, not wasting any time with it. It's already sent flying by Vanity. Gonna have to use those satchels to try and push them back and away, but the call is made by Cloud9.
Every fight kar rahe.
Straight over the position, Oxy. He's definitely done enough here with 3 kills into the round. Time is running short for him. It's a weird situation. An 8 rebounds, but it's only going to be preventing Jonah P from really pushing forwards. Who is going to be finally getting this plant down? Hold. Jonah P just needs to land this one. He's just walked it out entirely.
Oh.
There is the face.
भाई ऐसा लगा कि इसको बुलेट लगा लेकिन लगा नहीं.
Why has Oxy thrown his nade before they tap? He could have used that. There was like 10 seconds left on the time. He could have used that to deny the plant, surely.
नहीं लेकिन प्लान डिनाई नहीं होता था.
I was just about to say, Oxy's done such a great job at getting a second nade online here. He can win this round. And then it just kind of gifted them an opportunity to get a free plant down. Defend into B. It was what they, in my opinion, were the best on Lotus. Was putting pressure onto the B plant and then executing straight into the retake.
Yeah.
And Oxy is the biggest reason for that because he's fearless.
भाई तेरे चक्कर में मैं भी रात भर नहीं सोया. अच्छे मैचेस थे यार लेकिन.
And C9 lose another pistol. So only the
पता नहीं ये गेम के लिए अलग ही प्यार है मेरे को. मजा आता देखने को.
G2 just aiming to sniff out if Cloud9 are stacked with any bodies. We can see that they are.
Yeah.
Whole team.
And it's a fairly common setup, you know, to run. Like you have your 4 players on one side of the map. You have your 1 player on the other. And then you're just going to have Leaf kind of walk closer and closer over towards the C site. And if Leaf doesn't see anything, then you can go back to him. And if he gets punished, that's fine. Then you know where the stack is and you can commit over towards A. And the key here being that Leaf is one of these players without a weapon. So if he does go down, taking the slightly more aggressive lurk play, you're not really losing anything. You're not giving a weapon over to your opponent.
अब वॉच पार्टी ना करते तो मे बी नहीं इधर एक्चुअल वॉच पार्टी वाइब्स आती है लव यू अमेरिका में क्या टाइम हो रहा रहेगा पता नहीं अभी शाम हो रहा है
people sleep when optimal Valorant is played.
जिस रीजन में मैचेस होते हैं वो रीजन में दोपहर को चालू होते हैं मैच
run at them. You know, so it's just the way that G2 like to play. They've got very fundamental understanding of the game.
Yeah.
And I think it's all come kind of top down from
फ्यूचर में Esports Academy खोलने का कोई विचार मैं कहाँ से खोलूँ भाई हर चीज़ के लिए फंड्स चाहिए
thinks about it.
Leaf caught with a stun there, but
Academy खोल के क्या करूँ जब मैं उनको PCs से दे पाऊँगा
It's not the biggest deal in the world. C9 are going to be able to go down the spike. Now that should be
as he's sticking.
By
all good.
Almost
all
good.
All good.
Almost
That's the reason that you plant in that spot, is that when you're stood on top of mound, you have a headshot angle. But
or use a gun, whichever.
Squeaky bum time.
और fees लेके कितना fees लेगा यार?
Now there's a classic.
ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा महीने का 2000.
And honestly, rife for punishment. The amount of teams that have just been really stretching the economy, going for half armor purchases.
और 50 लोग भी आ गए.
Americas, you're seeing 2 online right
महीने
there.
का 2000 मतलब कितना हो गया?
Fantastic circle.
You want to give it another go?
Stay focused.
No.
It's live as 3 actually now. Oh no, 2.
No, still 2. Just different players.
Okay. All bang angles though being spammed out. Not too much more damage being applied. Valen, he's forwards now with the horn.
By crazy push.
Just diverted away from this one. Oxy tries to stand his ground. Only with the trade eventually.
1 second late हुआ ना stun शायद.
Rooney's going to be spotted from that prowler. He needs to use some util to try and get himself out of there. But there's no punish from G2. They weren't really eager.
Pick करने से पहले stun देता तो Oxy मार देता था शायद Fed को.
You'd think the C9 should be.
अगर अभी देखें जल्दी first salary से first subtract करूँगा. Done sin believer.
Not quite working out for them there. That's a lot of damage though. Huge damage onto Moose and Rooney.
I mean, just carved his way right through them, but no kill to be found. Still on a single
भाई
digit of
Cypher का
HP.
position बहुत strong है.
Door open now, Prowler. Maybe it can pave the way over towards this A site. Haunt will clear, at least for the back. Pit still needs to be watched just in case. Good heads up by Trent. Just playing out of the calm position with the plant. Make sure he doesn't get caught by that aftershock.
And Leaf will have been screaming in the comms the damage numbers that he did.
Oh yeah. 3v3, very winnable right now for G2.
Women blind दे सकता है.
Super grouped up though, and Vanity still has a paranoia.
He's going to be holding for it.
Satchel out.
Still here, Satchel. Sent out flying forwards,
Uh-oh.
very early. Paranoia is there. Gliding, walking through, spam into it, in through the smoke. Vanity cleared up though, still Moose sticking now and through bullets. It's all it takes. Spraying them all down, Rooney realizing it now. Didn't get the half onto the diffuser, just got to get a bit of a move on and running the hell out of there. Keep the rifle into the next, but a bonus round. There's one out by G2 here. These ults are coming online very quickly, that snowball potential. We're going back into the old hook classic.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that this G2 competition excels at, is getting that snowball online.
Yes, Sham and they started end match after that watch party and then few hours end match for full day entertainment. By the way, love what you do. Love you, Rahul bhai.
Frustrated.
Thank you for the 27th Canadian Australian American Dallas, Mary Jan.
So similar to what went wrong for them on Ascent.
Thank you, Rahul.
Stress settling in.
Yeah.
यार तुम लोग support करते हो उतनी बड़ी बात है. Meetup पे आने का, support करने का.
Again, Jonah P.
Stream देखते हो, super chat करते हो, membership gifting
spots that surely, sees it. They can't quite take the fight, at least without dropping down. It's making a lot of noise. Jonah P even here, this one, Dizzy, pre-aimed and fired forwards. Now it shows the ultimate.
इतना तो कर ही सकता हूँ.
Bloody hell, Icy. Good movement there with a satchel.
करो बे, nerf करो. गांड मारने का agent.
Making sure that Oxy couldn't get any further forward.
करो nerf.
I think it might be time for Rooney to give the rifle over to Oxy.
सबसे ज्यादा मिस्ड अल्ट्स किसका रहेगा तो मेरे को उसका स्टैट्स चाहिए सबसे ज्यादा कौन सा एजेंट का अल्टी मिस होता है
around so far for Cloud9. They've got to try and convert this in some way or form if they're going to be expending ults, but already losing these players. Jonah P.
Vanity's going to have a try at it.
Yeah.
Yes, of course. The strongest rifler.
Trip, punish through the wall, Seppa. At least through main, actually. Stand corrected. Out through the smokes once more. That's a deep push by Leap. And being punished. It's Vanity. It's the one for the trade.
Plant करने में लेकिन delay किया. Icebox नेड है.
Scared of the util. Flying forwards now.
Oh, दोनों नेड एक साथ डाल दिया.
This one with only 20 seconds left. There's definite opportunities, but it's Dizzy. It's going to be aimed. Snap 2. Broken. No flash there for them. 13 seconds, still needs to be held, and it's a spammable angle. Moose of one, follow through, and there's the win inside.
God round, kya mara be Moose?
Doing enough to stall that one out into a favorable position overall in the round. They needed to win that. You're expending the showstopper in that fashion.
Maybe deadlock किधर खेलते थे?
Back into it. All of the frustration that was on Emmy's face. I think he'll be super happy about this one.
0 damage.
The opening parts of the round didn't look great. But Vanity might manage to find his way in here, throw a nice
आपका वॉच पार्टी ही 10-20 बार देखा है
front defenses that were working really nicely on Ascent.
Please shout out the HB Spidey, big shout out to मेरी जान.
Doing a good job, and Cloud9 using the time effectively
just
against G2.
Just bacha.
Pre-fire almost took Jonah P out.
Yeah, I think Jonah's going to find it difficult to stay alive in some of these spots if he's going to be perma-lurking. C9 want to force the action. You kind of have to when you're running the double initiator. It's either that or trap plays or retakes. Kind of pick your poison between the three.
Yeah.
4 बंदे spotted है मतलब 10 सेकंड तक तो A पे pressure नहीं है.
Really giving up the orb though. Cloud9 not willing to contest over towards C mound, so Icy now one away from the ult. Don't believe the orb is still going to be up over towards A, and Cloud9 still have control of Rubble anyway. It's doubled up.
Sexy
Oxy
thumbnail.
and Zeppa could do some
सारा
serious
editor का
damage.
बेरमादी.
How did G2 clear this? Many ways to do so. Wall up, probably going to be dropping it down alongside the Horns as well. Zeppa's trying to get in front of this one here. It's blinded though. Parano, I believe, and just doesn't know which timing to take here. Oxy still hard committed.
भाई मारता तो है
With 6 bullets left. Once more stands his ground, looking for the challenge, but nobody's going to be meeting him. G2, fast move now, wrap around across the world, make their way over towards C.
Cypher का trap देखो
चेक. 30 seconds
At
left.
least left from the side. Valen trying to make some noise up through B. Has pulled a few players. In fact, Moosey left the position where he was hard anchored. Now still going to be trying to meet them. Doors open wide. Not going to be met. And everybody
clean
falls.
big clean. भाई उसने late round trap डाला बे उसने.
But C9, they read the scenario. And I actually really like that
Tell me
setup.
the best way to aim heads, bro. Would help
I
me.
know that he didn't really get too much out of it, but he's close enough that the
Cursor
paranoia
थोड़ा
doesn't do
ऊपर रखने
anything.
का यार.
And he's also
Try
just
करने का head
perfectly
मारने
pre-aiming in case people swing through the wall, or when the wall drops, he's looking towards root. It's a nice setup.
Best
between
वही
Oxy and
है
Zeppa there.
जो
And Oxy, as usual, he's good for it.
shooting
He's
range में जो
top
wards
of the
रहते हैं ना
scoreboard right
expert.
now, popping off, bringing the vibes
उनको
up.
मारते रहे.
And he's got C9 back into things. Not opting for the rubble fight anymore, Cloud9.
No, but it's my pay G2 win. Don't have money. I'd be willing to take those risks. Valen is so far ahead. It's dropped almost immediately.
By comeback मार लिया 3-0 से.
Reposition.
I think they're gambling there that it's probably the Cypher setup over towards A.
And a double hold, Oxy!
I mean, is that one even intentional?
Race के पास ult भी था bro.
For a lot of players, I'd say that they got lucky, but for Oxy, it may have just been too clean ADS.
We'll find out, man, on the replay, I think.
Yeah. They are still giving it to Leaf.
Bro, race के पास
They are
ult भी था.
still giving it to Leaf every time they take
Late
him
था
out.
ult था कुछ नहीं डर पाया.
No mercy being
डोमिली
shown
में
for the former
CS
teammate.
CS 1.6 मिस करते हो कि नहीं? डोमिली में मैं नहीं खेलता था.
You don't know him like that.
Yeah, he's just joining in on the fun. G2 with a timeout. Important time for it, I think, as well, when Cloud9 have started to
Oh, it was.
find their footing. Ah, it's just
Back by
disgusting.
मत करो.
Was it ever in doubt?
तेरे को मालूम है आप क्या कर रहे हो.
Was it ever in doubt with Oxy?
मत करो.
He's so sharp with it.
Yeah.
11-2.
Guys, तकबाई को सब लोग गीली चुम्मी और हार्ट्स दो. अभी मेरे पास 2 काम है, 2 प्रोजेक्ट्स है, प्लस 3 ब्रांड्स है. ऑल थैंक्स टू तकबाई. और मैंने छोटा सा गिफ्ट दिया और वो भी तकबाई बोलते कि वो एज अ गिफ्ट नहीं चाहिए. देखो देखो बे, लव यू यार तक भाई, लव यू यार। लेकिन सेक्सी है ना तक भाई, सबसे बाप क्या लगा मेरे को, रहना लगा, समझ रहे हो? उसका डिटेलिंग देखो एक बार पीछे से, मतलब वो पूरा वो लेयर्स वैसे सब। बंग्स पे अरे कहा है 30% दे रहे हैं यूट्यूब को। लव यार तक भाई, सच्ची बोलूं मेरे गांड पूरी फटी थी पता है। फर्स्ट टाइम मैं सोलो ट्रैवल किया इंटरनेशनल, मेरे को 2 वो करने का था, इमिग्रेशन, और मेरे पास पूरा राइट का मैंने अक्खा नया बैग खरीदा था। पहली बार 2 बैग लेके मैं ऐसा चल रहा था, मेरी पूरी गांड पैक थी। मेरे को लगा कि अभी ये लोग मेरे को रिमांड में लेंगे, फिर वो चड्डी के अंदर ऐसे सब वो सब करके वो लोग चेकिंग करते, वो सब होएगा। मेरी पूरी गांड फटी थी, सच्ची बोल रहा हूँ। तक भाई ओपी इन द चैट, थैंक यू तक भाई फॉर द 10,000 and the 50 gifted, लव यू। रेना बहुत सेक्सी था, रेना बहुत बाप था। मैं भी देख रहा हूँ जेट और फिनिक्स लाने का, समझ रहे हो? हो सकता है कि नेक्स्ट मंथ,
I mean, what is
yeah,
Oxy's
next
game
to
plan there?
next
He's so
month
close to the door. I think he's just trying to take the timing through it.
ठीक है। और जेट और फिनिक्स रहेगा क्योंकि वो लोग पास 4 ही फिगरिंग्स है अभी, चारों मिल गया तो मजे ही मजे। क्या बोलते हो? दे भाई ना मान रहे। जेट फिनिक्स ऑन द वे, न्यूज़ से मंगा लिया।
Still wants to get inside the smoke spot just in case, not giving up the space just yet.
And I like the way that Valen calls in these spots because he always leaves a player like Jonah here so that they have options later on in the round. They could try to end B, they can always go back over to Jonah B if they need to. And again, I'm really hoping that we end towards A because I want to see how Oxy is thinking he can outplay this.
Oxy
ये ले,
is going to be pressured here as soon as that door is open
Phoenix figuring
wide.
mob है।
It's not even like he can get a one-way smoke set up by Vanities.
Whitey पे grow कैसे करे? पानी डालने का?
Essentially alone and no way, no way. Oh, he's done it. He's just taking the timing against them. Oh, not enough for the reset.
मार तो सकता था तो।
Quick 180. Showstopper still alive here.
लो एक और यूसी।
Pre-fired into the corner just in case someone was holding close.
एक और यूसी।
And committed extension now. In for round 7.
किसी की बात रहे figurines.
Lotus is 4 on a forward position of G2. Really trying to hold this one close. Icy, he's taken out. Aftershock, press forwards. Miles away is Leaf in terms of the position on a wrap.
Oh, भाई मटका लगा, ये मटका था।
He needs to deny and buy some time. Noro theft.
लड़ गया पानी में छपा।
All for Leaf into this spot. Should have been a timing that they could have taken. Rooney with a defuse. Already up to half and it's covered with moves. All the way.
GG be.
The ult and the 2K close things out for the Cypher on Cloud9.
GG
That's
stuff.
a massive round for C9 to put on the board. This map trends attack-sided anyway, but I think teams have got so much better at playing it on the defense. Look at this. It's so nice.
India में head delivery right sir के नहीं.
Yes, Oxy doesn't get the second, which he probably should have done.
जितना मेरे को मालूम है नहीं
He made
है.
the correct decisions, but Jonah B had the pit that would have been a massive post-plant addition to the way that they played this round. And then Leaf off miles away. 1 and 7, bottom of the scoreboard as well. Struggling to find his impact.
टीम के नीचे 5-1-3-3 क्या है? ये split के matches है. Split में वो लोग कितने matches खेले और कितना जीता कितना हारा.
Putting up 0.9
Split 1 और 2 मिला
in
के.
a lot of his moments on Killjoy, but he's not finding it right now.
No, struggling.
And against his former team.
आज तक एक भी gifted नहीं मिलने की घमंड है.
Opportunities as well for Oxy to clean up. Now there's not going to be any players beating him, but with the
actually में हम लोग ने कितना gifted किया है.
full half armor from G2.
Actually में.
Starting to get worried.
मेरे चैनल पे कितने gifted हो गए रहेंगे तो
running out through the back of the side. It's going to have some util now to try and slow them down here, but a lockdown will have to be respected unless they have some.
Yeah, I mean,
आपके पास तक भाई जैसे
maybe it could be like Aftershock Marsh,
mentor है हमारे पास वैसा कोई नहीं है.
So this is just
दोनों है तक भाई गोल्ड पे दोनों.
with the retake.
Giving up, and that's fast by Cloud9. I mean,
तक
rapid.
भाई गोल्ड पे heavy mentors and mortal by.
This is going to get
It's
messy.
like the
Gives them that
backbone.
cover and fire. It's going to get very messy. Dizzy.
कुछ भी problem रहेगा ना. Mortal is like a good listener. हम लोग बात कर सकते हैं. मन हल्का कर सकते हैं. तकबाई के सामने ना मन हल्का नहीं कर सकते. तो तकबाई के सामने मन हल्का कर दिया ना सीधा solution देंगे.
Let loose into the hands of Oxy. Can he find anything? Players forwards now. And a direct hit will drop him. Still, bullets landing. Oxy left to do it all. In a 1v2 and a half armor might make that difference. Nade rebounds. Still with a plant down. Shorty in hand. Upgrades available. It's rampant across the board, but he knows the damage has been done anyway. The Icy skip and a hop over the top. Just did not spot Icy round. And round we go with a timing.
Aicha Gavat. ये क्या चुते आप देख रहे हैं अपन? 3-0 से 5-3.
Oxy's favored in that kind of situation because he just has such great info about where everybody is. Icy's just trying to put the spike in the ground. Putting down that pit before the spike goes down. And instantly C9 applying pressure. Beautiful decision as well to take out the shorty towards the end.
सच्ची में बोल रहा हूँ. For example, अगर समझो मेरे पास for example फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम है, ठीक है, मैं मॉडल को कॉल करेगा, मैं मॉडल को बोलूँगा मॉडल यार ऐसे ऐसा सीन है, फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम्स है. मॉडल बोलेगा हाँ होता है, ये अभी थोड़ा डाउनफॉल चल रहा है, ठीक हो जाएगा, ऐसा ऐसा. तक बैक ऐसे नहीं, फाइनेंशियल प्रॉब्लम है, ले मैसेज 50 lakhs एडेड टू योर अकाउंट. सेम विद गोल्डी बाय, फाइनेंशियल मैसेज ले 50 lakhs मोर एडेड टू योर अकाउंट. वैसा है लिसनर के साथ सोल्यूशन ऑन द स्पॉट, बाद में के लिए नहीं रख.
You're right, Josh, at this point. Almost inevitable. Cloud9 have...
Bro, Oxy से अच्छा तो आप खेलते हो. Excuse me.
C9 have dealt with
3-0 से 6-3 यार. ये तो इकोता करके जल्दी हो गया.
The old cycle, they've managed to apply massive amounts of pressure on these flood defenses. They're going for retakes before the spike is even planted.
मैं हमेशा तो बोलता हूँ, too many good genuine people in Ascent.
Really love to play things to perfection if you give them enough time to set it up. They like to play the slower attack sides.
Have a good family.
Everybody placed in optimal positions. And when you push them, when you pressure them, they can't get into those spots. And that's where C9 driving the wedge into those cracks.
I don't know in need package, but my parents are blind from my 4 package from ID, and who will explain them? Who explain करेगा और कौन करेगा? और explain करने से भी नहीं हो रहा तो फिर तेरे को वही करने का जो mom dad चाहते हैं यार. क्या करोगे उनके against जाके?
From Leaf, I think he's relying on his skill, which usually is great for him.
नजर ना लगे बात.
You just can't find it.
By Oxy और Rubble एक love story लग रहा है.
Slight peek by Trent. Was connected onto the backside player. Trouble is, can you get the plan down still? I believe it's a kill trip set up by Moose. Slide across, but it's going to be spotted out. Rolling Thunder, though. Not going to be allowing them to get that easy plant down. Full connection now, aftershock. Offloaded with it. Flashes. Crossing the way. This is going to be pre-fight, though. No one can be caught by it, and G2 make the call to just try and stand and deliver.
Oh, ये भी लो है.
Showstopper rocket denied.
Technically UC है.
No win for them. Another ult expended and wasted, but G2.
Technically UC.
All the resources just.
मैं example बोलता हूँ. मैंने भी BCom किया हुआ है. मेरे को भी BCom के अलावा नहीं पता था कुछ. मेरे mom चाहते थे BCom कर, मैंने किया.
Right at the beginning.
Simple बात है.
Desperation time for
उसके बाद मॉम चाहते थे सीए बन. मैंने वो भी किया. लेकिन ट्राई. फिर मॉम खुद मान गई. जो करना है कर. Fuck off करके.
These early fights are going so well for Cloud9.
Technically UC नहीं है, technically UC है.
That is brave.
That is so bold. I don't think Vanity would do that, except that they've won
एकदम
7 rounds in a
full
row.
vibes, keep going. Love you, Sai.
A bit of sloppiness will get G2 back in. Forwards, you can hear many footsteps leave.
Dad क्या चाहते हैं? Dad सिर्फ chill करना चाहते हैं लाइफ. उनको मैटर नहीं करता है.
Makes his mark on the server with 2 dropping.
मेरा dad सबसे chillest dad planet
left
में.
alone now. Opens up the door wide,
कुछ
but he
भी
doesn't
करो.
have to worry about a multitude of
बोल के
positions.
करो.
And his back as well. Jonah P just a bit of patience there. Would have worked out.
Finally round जीता बे.
Moose popped up onto the half wall. And now tethered into place. That is a 4th round for G2. Maybe just one
Team
more.
के नीचे 5-1 और 3-3 क्या है? Split के matches है.
Bring this back despite the dominance that we've seen of Cloud9.
इतना डेडिकेशन कहाँ से लाता है? Heads up भाई. ये तो मेरा डैड का है यार. मेरा डैड भी workaholic था.
Then yeah. And at that point, Cloud9
जो चीज पसंद है वो करने का. No second thought.
They are in control, playing phenomenally map 2 and map 3. If they let it slip based on pistol rounds, they're going to be kicking themselves. C9 would love another here just to make sure that even if G2 get a pistol, they're still with a fairly sizable lead in the next.
आपका watch party सुबह office काम कमाई पे लगे. Love you.
Fantastic to use. Thrash on Zephyr.
He's
So many
part-time
tools at their
करना.
disposal. Again, Vanity though taking a really aggro position. He's got the
मतलब
operator on
जिसको
a
करने का है
crack,
part-time
hoping that
करो यार.
Lethal just
सुमड़ी
run
में
into
करो.
this. Pure mind
और
games.
देखो success मिलता है कि
Maybe
नहीं.
reading
और
into the
तुमको
fact
लग रहा है
that
कि
he's
success
got
मिल रहा है.
a good understanding of how his former teammate plays.
तो फिर मोमडेड को बताओ क्या ऐसे ऐसा किया इतना किया और मेरे को इतना मिला. सोचो इतना करूँगा तो कितना मिलेगा ये वो. Results ये बे कोई भी मोमडेड नहीं चाहिए कि तुम लोग भटके.
Lands the shot. Oh, he's inside his head. Yeah. It's just brutal out there for Leaf.
Morning work वाले night
No
alcohol.
trade inside there from Jonah P. First kill advantage for Cloud9. It's got to be full. I mean,
First time message कर आपने पढ़ लिया. Love you. कितने अटेम्प्ट दिए सीए में?
Lots of these opening engagements.
It definitely feels like it.
And Oxy.
मैंने वो दिया था सीए के पहले एक एग्जाम होता है ना सीपीटी ऐसा कुछ. उसमें और मैं जानबूझकर फेल हो गया था. इतना तो सब्जेक्ट करने से पास होता है और मैं जानबूझकर 4 या 5 मार्क्स से फेल हो गया था. मेरे को करने का नहीं था कि उसके बाद आईपीसी से इतना पढ़ाई कौन करेगा. तो मैं फेल हो गया था. मैं घर पे बोला भी था मम्मी मैं जानबूझकर फेल हो गया. तुम्हारे लिए किया. If you want me to fail again, I can try again.
There is still a chance in this round if Moose or Vanity decide to contest the plant and go down.
10 seconds left.
But if they play it safe,
We are
and
meant
group
to
up
be.
together,
तेरे को पता भी है
huge
मैंने
amounts
किया
of
था
utility
बुरी.
still left from both initiators. Everything's online.
On with the flash. So the paranoia sends it off early here. You can hear that thrash coming forwards. Jonah P seeks to take a timing right through and it doubled back. Great game sense there by Zephyr. Entertainment here for Jonah P, and there's no chance, no shot, no world. No world at all.
Another knife kill.
भाई सीनन और नाइफ का क्या सीन है? थोड़े लाइफ लेसन चल रहे हैं विद वॉच पार्टी. हमें भी दो थोड़े लाइफ लेसन. क्या चाहिए यार गेम जोलर? तुम्हारे पास तो सब है यार. तुम्हारे पास सब है. You have a very beautiful wife. You have a very good job. बस इंडिया से दूर हो आप. उसका दुख है. बाकी तो सब है.
Ring around the rosy in one of the rounds.
भाई दूसरा नाइफ बे दूसरा नाइफ.
It's been lovely work overall.
जब तब बोल भी नहीं सकते. एक नाइफ ऑलरेडी कर चुके.
And you know, I felt like G2 were starting off quite well, and then Cloud9, Wyatt, just completely
नहीं आप स्ट्रीम करो और हाँ हमें
Absolutely.
कुछ
I mean, maybe if we were
हम
seeing
आपको
some of the
कुछ
new
रखने
crazy
देते.
comps, different agents, we'll see that Lotus won't be as attacker-sided favored. But with these kind of classic comps, Cloud9 surely have done more than enough already, getting 9 rounds on defense.
Yeah, it's actually
9
yeah,
yeah 8.
I forgot that, you know, with the way that these maps have played out with the compositions and whatnot, this certainly does look fantastic.
Good AQI and better
for
work
Cloud9
environment
going into the
we
second half
have.
here. And you're seeing, honestly, Bala, some great
Ajay
coordination
Bang
here
takes
from Oxy,
care.
but also
Games
Moose
Evolver
and
बड़ा
Oxy
तेरा
popping
roar
off too.
love you.
That round is absurd. This one is too. I mean, a 1v2 with
I
an
think
outlaw
pursuing
stuck on
the
site,
hacking was
recognizing
the
that
thought. Ethical
the
hacking
IC
is
was low
always good,
HP,
yaar.
just pulling out the shorty and
Like,
making it
we
count.
need
Moose had great rounds.
ethical
You're talking about
hackers.
that. Oxy's 13
ताकि कुछ
and 5
गलत
right
ना
now.
हो
First
लोगों के
kills the
साथ.
first
समझ
death.
रहे हो?
He's playing phenomenally
So
over the
ethical
entire series,
hacking
and
is
carrying it through to Lotus is really
good
important.
thing.
Yeah, and I do like as well, I mean, Brennan Saisho was talking
And
about
there
it,
को pay भी
though. You're
होएगा
seeing
if you're
a
a good
different way that Oxy
ethical
is
hacker.
approaching this map with the Rays, being a bit more, you know, kind of like holding his ground a bit more in certain areas of the map.
I think holding his ground, but also I don't think I've seen him
Love
like,
from
over-push
ASA
and,
Bugs
like,
by
crazy.
love
I feel like he
you.
has to overcompensate, and I feel like as well in the late rounds, his
पिंकी के
flanks
बोलो
have been
सो
good.
जाए
I
5
think the
बज
clutches
गए.
as well from him have been good, like the 1v1 with Oxy 1 HP. And
अबे आधे
Moose as
घंटे
well.
में
I think
धूप
even
आएगा.
as a team, when these rounds get
At
really
least
chaotic
light
in the
तो
late
आएगा.
round, there's a Viper ult
थोड़ा
on
बहुत.
site. Things always just end up going
Binks?
in Cloud9's favor. I'm not sure if that's a miss from G2 or maybe more so just Cloud9 capitalizing.
Yeah, just a reminder that the last time
बहुत scope है
these
next
two
5 years
teams
के
played
अंदर, हाँ.
on this map, it was G2 that beat Cloud9 13-6.
It is
And
not
recently, G2
easy
have only
because
lost to some of the best
obviously
teams
easy
in
क्यों
the
रहेगा?
world
पागल हो गए हो?
on this map. Heretics and
Multi-million dollar companies
Good
को चाहिए
context
रहता
to
है भाई
remember as
वो
we
सब.
get into the second half, send it back over to
तो
Brennan
वो लोग
Saisho.
को वो क्यों चाहिए रहेगा जो
And just to
easily
build off what
लोग
Wyatt
कर
was
सकते
saying, you
हैं.
know, it is a good match for G2. Part of the reason they won versus Cloud9 last time around when these two teams played on this map,
अब तो
you know, was
कोई
that
नहीं
they were able
बहुत
to
सारा
just bait
प्यार.
and
जय
isolate
भाई
Oxy a
मेरे
lot
को
of the
याद
time
है
in
यार.
those fights,
किससे?
playing together, a lot of high-low setups, and it was their defensive half that they were doing most of that.
Yeah. But I think Oxy's letting the game come to him.
मैं bet पे लगा था
That's what Mel was talking about. Yeah. He's not overextending, looking for the fights, but he might be forced to do it a bit more now with the sides of SWAT. And he's on attack.
भाई क्या reveal भाई क्या reveal क्या reveal.
Prediction there as well that Vanity would look to seek refuge
थोड़ा
inside the
कैसे नहीं
smoke.
लेकिन.
Maybe what they were looking for here. Aftershock clears up to that corner. It's already that vulnerability slowed down by the turrets. Bullet tanked up. I mean, there's just a lack of.
कितनी बार हम लोग ने देखा स्पिट और टर्रेट की वजह से लोगों को
they wanted to really approach this one. It was brute force to try and get through the choke point. And brute force does not work out. G2 flawless with the pistol round win.
And almost flawless in the series. 5-1 when it comes to pistol rounds won in G2's favor. I said earlier, if G2 end up winning this series based on, broadly speaking, that stat, C9 will be kicking themselves. Oh, Vanity didn't even manage to get inside the smoke. I missed that. I thought that was a prediction, but he's lit up like a Christmas tree.
Keep growing in life, lots of love, much respect. Love you. Your prediction C9,
I don't think there is a best team in Americas right now, at least conclusively. But it's making for
should be like around
39
years.
It looks like we've still got a chance.
Valen tucks close. Reposition out of TP. Should be pre-aimed, but again it's being covered. Leaf is there over the shoulder. Take to the VIP. Finally, pesky turret dealt with.
But in the 3v5 post-plant, shouldn't really be
अच्छा वो प्लान तो मिला.
Maybe if they had upgraded a bunch of guns.
ये वो लोग ने स्टिंगर विंगर खरीद लिया था.
That's ambitious.
Yeah, it's just Moose going for it there. Vanity obviously.
भाई वो लोग को रीड भी था, वो लोग ने गेको ब्लाइंड भी तोड़ा, वो भी उधर.
Make sure that they can do anything, but the crossfires are
वो लोग ने गेको ब्लाइंड भी तोड़ा, वो भी उधर.
Angles and positions.
You might think that a double initiator composition is going to trend attack
I mean,
sided
to ask
because you have
top
huge amounts of
predictions?
utility to get into sight.
Top
But
3.
actually, I think that it's going to end up being a little opposite for Cloud9.
Top
What we
3
saw
का
is
पता
that
नहीं
this
है.
composition
मेरे को
worked
सेन
really
पसंद है,
nicely for
मेरे
their
को
flood defending
C9
style.
पसंद
They
है.
have huge amounts of utility to flood in and put pressure onto the spike plants, and they work for their defense. But when they're on attack now, they're going to be having to go through nanoswarms, vulnerables being thrown out from that snakebite from Jonah P. If they just try to do big burst execs, G2 are going to have some great utility to deal with that. So C9 are going to have to play a little more slowly and draw that out, and they don't have the Viper to play slow.
Heretics पसंद है. Heretics कैसे भूल गया?
Cloud9. Somehow, I mean, Zephyrs ended up with a judge heading into this round for G2's bonus.
Does Moose get caught?
Oh, footsteps.
They go
Silent jumper by Moose.
जी पसंद है, प्यार है.
I think that's going to be her potentially.
मेरे को पता था तुम लोग ये करोगे. मेरे पास आंसर रेडी था.
Indeed. It's a spray and pray. Fading away. Trent now with the prowler.
मैं चैट को अच्छी तरह से जानता हूँ, हाँ? मेरे पास रेडी था आंसर, वादा मेरे को लगा था तुम लोग बोलोगे.
Tight position. I mean, it's everything is obvious right now from Cloud9. The position is everywhere.
It's going to be another bonus.
Man, a bonus round win. They can't be
फिर
stopped.
से
And icy.
comeback हो सकता है बे.
A flawless bonus round conversion. I mean, this isn't. It's not even like you did any damage at all to it. They're going to be upgrades abound now for G2.
If there was any way of losing this match, I think C9 have just found it. The loss in the pistol and the loss on the bonus, it's so similar to Ascent. Amy's going to be kicking himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, brutal one. He's already hit the panic button. They've gone for a tactical timeout.
The exact same as Ascent.
Knife करते ही comeback हो गया
pistol, lose the bonus, immediately you hit the timeout button.
Yeah. Ideally here, C9 will be able to pull off a thrifty like they did in the first half.
उसको पूछो उसका याद भी है क्या वो ulti पे करके.
That's going to happen. It did require a big thrifty round to suddenly turn the momentum when C9 were playing on the defense.
बस आपकी जैसी बॉडी बनानी है.
Like I said, I really feel like this double initiator worked beautifully for them when they had the advantage in the late round to flood defend. But when all utility is even across the board and you're trying to get into a site, you're still going to struggle to get in on Lotus through these small choke points. You saw the way that Valen was calling on the attack. It was slow-paced. He was trying to push them all the defenders.
9:35 a.m.
Did they have a lot of success? No, not really. But there were moments to try to get in, and that is the more standard way of playing Lotus.
अबे लौड़े सुबह के 9 बज गए, उठ जा. उधर जाके भी sleep schedule.
It is, yeah. Can't go all in really into these sites, not when the composition that G2 is playing, we've seen it enough at this
very
point.
diplomatic
We all
answer,
know
very
how it
chala.
works, but they do have an abundance
cricket
of
nahi dekhte
intel
na.
just to delay and deny
No cricket,
anybody from
no
even taking
football.
any space.
Yeah, you can,
No
you
tennis,
can try
no
to when you have
badminton,
ults
no
online.
nothing.
I mean, when you have Showstopper, Rolling Thunder, the Thrash maybe, those ults can try to get you through a choke point.
Hello Bugs Bhai, I'm from California.
Really want
कैसे
that
हो?
one up on Zeppa, so Oxy's going to leave it to him.
एक सेक्सी राउंड चाहिए लोग को,
Doors being
उसके
opened
बाद
on
ये लोग
both
अल्ट
sides of the
रोटेशंस
map.
में मार सकते हैं.
C9 for the attackers, clearing
क्योंकि
up
attack
clearing
is equal
up
to
B.
momentum
On the other
set.
side, G2 making sure that they've got good
ये लोग
information
ही सेट
on
कर
Robin,
सकते हैं.
and nobody's been left inserted.
ऐसा खेलने क्या करते हैं?
G2 have a very, very good idea where these players could be, and look at these stray shots from Trent. I mean, popping them off. Dizzy
HDL FIFA tournament
finally
का ना
push
video
him
idea.
back, but it's
करेंगे
all
क्या?
Util
थोड़ा
has to be
fun
committed
चाहिए
just
ना?
to clear out this space. It's a fault line and a nade. Right, he's already vacuumed up that orb, so that's not going to be given to them.
मेरे भी सब बंद है, गेम भी बंद कर रहे. गेम में बंद नहीं कर. गेम तो मैं ऑफ स्ट्रीम भी कितना खेलता था. अभी तो मैंने पूरा कंप्लीट बंद किया है मैंने ऑफ स्ट्रीम खेलना. लेकिन नेक्स्ट एक्ट में चालू
don't
करूंगा.
really see a game plan here. Cloud9 might be forced to just run into A.
गेम अलग चीज है बे. गेम
Combo
से
flash Dizzy,
माइंड
I hope
फ्रेश
that
होता
catches
है.
Trent.
तुम दोस्त बना सकते हो.
Pivot through B.
एक वर्चुअल वर्ल्ड में तुम लोग रहते हो.
Broken up and wide.
Game
So it's
peaceful
going to
है.
be the nano swarms, and again, look at that. Tamoli that just delays them. Vulnerability. They can't really commit past it. Oxy will just glide over now, using that satchel to try and get themselves in. But the nano swarms are just being deaded, and the plan is going to be close, tucked to the corner. Mosh pit here in. Valen has to try and evade it. A lot of damage done to him just from that alone. Maybe there's a chance here. Get themselves in, but
भाई
again, the
अल्ट
weapons
भी
are
है,
not looking good.
लेकिन
and
इसका
everybody's
नेड
pushed
बहुत
up
खतरनाक
into the
रहेगा.
lower section.
Oh
Players are held.
fuck.
Nade rebounds. That is going to be huge. Pushing them forwards and about. They can't stand their ground to
भाई
take these
नेड
fights.
सेक्सी था.
And the aim's all over the place right now. Moose left alone in that 1v4.
भाई नेड सेक्सी था बे.
It's a cheeky one, really, just for the end.
Nade
But
sexy था.
overall, G2.
I mean, I'd love to see.
हाँ भाई अभी 6 रैंक हार के आए, मस्त पीसफुल लग रहा है.
Good chance of being able to win. G2, they only really had the nade to go for that.
सोचो तुम लोग को लाइफ लेसन भी सिखा रहे हैं. कि हारने के बाद भी तुम खेल रहे हो. हारने के बाद भी खेल रहे हो. यही होती है लाइफ में. हार आते रहेगा. उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि फाइंड मैच बंद करो. खेलते रहो. लाइफ लेसन. और क्या चाहिए तुमको?
These ultimates online as well.
Barely building them up.
Yeah, the Thrash, the first. That one's normally rapid. You almost have that instantly if you win the pistol.
गेम्स का ठीक है, but too much screen time headphone एक अच्छा नहीं लगता है. At least in my field, or maybe I'm old now. तुम्हारा फील्ड का पता नहीं. मेरे फील्ड में ऐसे है कि वो चिपक गया हेडफोन. ये लोग फिर से बी हिट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन एक रन के साथ वो लोग को ए थोड़ा प्रेशर करना पड़ेगा.
As soon as he hears any sound, Util being used against him, he can just let rip the ult.
He might just ult off turret contact.
Yeah.
It would be bold without a second player there.
Flash. Here we go. Yeah. Sees it and does not nail it. I mean, listen, damage done certainly, but robbed of the kills and the chance and the opportunity. Smoke just to get him out of there. Few bullets, barely alive. Wants to go for another swing of things. There was a season and A trying to be comboed up just in case, but it misses wide.
What a timing on that from Chona. Great read that they were about to commit. 40 seconds though. And now there's no snakebite over on C. But there are 3 players stacked up. Ready, waiting, and double nanoswarm setup still.
The read by Valen. Perfect.
30 seconds left.
Trying to get themselves
गांड
in.
मारे
No
कि
one
नहीं
is pre-aiming
एजेंट
a
की?
haunt. Nano swarms in front of you.
गांड मारे कि नहीं
Easy
एजेंट
to
की
try and
चैट?
enter.
That's from B. That's
मैंने बोला था
filthy.
ना वो लोग को एक रन
What is
करना
that
पड़ेगा.
lineup?
That's lovely stuff from Trent.
बिना एक रन के नहीं कर सकते बी प्रेशर.
I mean, you are not ready to break that.
No.
10 seconds
When you're
left.
focused on getting in through the choke. The timing on this utility
He's
snake
on
bite
the
from
way to
Jonah
say
and
और
one from
corner.
Trent is immaculate.
गांड मार दिए.
And it feels so similar to some of G2's games at
Need to
Shanghai.
focus
where
on some and stuff.
they
Need
don't look like
consistent
they're
on it
really
right
in
now.
control of
You
Lotus.
can only do
but they're making it
streaming
work.
for like
and they're
2
getting
hours.
wins.
एक
That's
घंटा
the
करेगा
thing.
तो भी चलेगा.
It's almost
Do what you
deceiving though,
love.
because you look at the scoreboard and it's a even spread. It's no
नहीं
heavy
हो रहा है.
dominance
एक
from
घंटा
one
भी तो
player
ऑफ
like, you know,
स्ट्रीम
you see
खेल रहे हो,
Ox
जो
and
भी कर रहे हो,
Cloud9 top the
रिकॉर्ड करो और
scoreboard now,
वीडियो
but,
बना के डालो.
I don't know, they make it look easy. It's just the team play.
Yeah, I will say though, Leaf is finding his moments a lot more on the
और
defense
वो
side
भी नहीं
now.
हो रहा है हफ्ते में एक ही गेम खेलते हो
As the
तो
horn
पूरा
goes over
हफ्ते
the
का
top,
एक
quite
साथ
similar
वीडियो
to the
बना
one
के
that you
डालो
throw at the start of the round over on A.
एडिटर को पकड़ो बोलो महीने का 4 वीडियो बनाने का
Hitting those lineups.
Yeah, just with the timings here, flash in the face of Icy. Pawn not broken again. They know that there's that hard committal from Oxy out towards Rubble. He's sad
हर एक का एक easy solution है.
so he's actually on top of it, but no casualties. Barely many rifles to work with.
Again, मैं चला done. Love you too.
Powered away through.
They have forced in this round, and all of that pressure.
मेरे यहाँ सुबह हो गया जीतो C9.
He does sometimes get punished for going for this. But in this
ऐसे जीतेंगे वही सोच रहा हूँ. वो लोग एक्चुअल में B कर सकते हैं, लेकिन B का प्रॉब्लम है कि वो लोग को B क्रंच करना पड़ेगा.
Gives up a lot of space here for Cloud9 to get themselves in. G2, are you ready for this one?
Flank कितना जल्दी आया देखो.
What is that? Enough reset for it. And look at the spray down, the transfer itself. Wonderful control. Prowler sent flying bullets alongside it. G2. A 2-round lead. And it doesn't feel like it's stopping. Not anytime soon. Look at the amount of rounds they've got in a row.
And look at the scoreboard and where Leaf is at. He was trailing at the bottom, started out 1-7, and now he's recovered in this half.
पीछे पता तो कितना
He only had something like 3
लगाना
kills
चाहिए. I
in the
think 1.5
entirety of the first half here on
2 lakh
Lotus.
तक ऐसा पीछे बनेगा जो
On
तुम्हारा
defense,
मस्त 2-3 साल
finding
चलेगा.
moments to be aggressive, finding flank timings, winning rounds for them.
My presence बहुत
12
कम है
and 12.
अटैक के हिसाब से
He has
सीजन का.
skyrocketed up the scoreboard, finding his moments to create impact for the team.
Yeah.
Binks भाई कैसे हो? सब बढ़िया.
And yeah,
Games
he
over.
has been
Thank you
clean,
for
but
the
he
$10
hasn't
once
really
again
found the
मेरी
moments
जान.
to be able to get involved on the attack.
40-70
I
और
can't quite
30-90
remember
है
how
जो
many kills
अच्छा
he
है वो.
had to end the defense side, but I think it might have even been.
Yeah, don't ask me.
Ribbon का
I think
मैसेज
it
है
was
आवाज
really,
में.
really close to the amount that he's currently got.
Can't recall, but
I think he ended with maybe something like 12 kills, and he's on 17 now.
Yeah,
I guess, to be honest, that's not bad.
And G2's defensive half itself on this map is just... They're too good at it. It feels like a very different way of winning though. Last time they played against Cloud9, there's a lot of just, you know, push and pull, baiting them into unfavorable fights. This time, G2 have a really firm grasp in terms of the macro. They always have util for the right answer. Fatty's calling in terms of just expecting where his position are of the...
और उधर सुबह के 9 बजे.
Just trying to lead his team. It's Valen who's always just got the heads up. It feels like one step ahead.
Chat में माफ करे.
Yeah, Leaf.
Your favorite squad for PUBG
across
VC?
these 6
Favorite
rounds
squad?
of defense.
Time to show up then. I see once more. They would have paranoia. Vanity does reveal his position with that one.
दो टाइप का स्क्वाड है. एक फन स्क्वाड है, एक ट्रायड स्क्वाड है. ट्रायड स्क्वाड तो फिर
too much to overcome and fight.
Scout से जितना ट्रायड कोई नहीं.
Doors open wide. Prowler dropped at his feet, still dropped down to the back of the side. He is wide.
Scout और जो भी 2 बंदे स्काउट को
try and take this one.
ट्रायड करने, वरना मैं गाली कहूँगा.
No connections. Not
Fun squad है तो Mortal Mamba.
Now an all-earn. Oxy, Rocket there. Kill still found. Up and around. Moose. Getting cheeky with it. Just trying to go for the jump spot. Why not? Go for it. Cloud9. Will they finally get themselves onto the board? In a 2v4 here. 2v3. G2. Lockdown. It's now going to be committed. Still willing. The resource into this fight. And what have they got to try and destroy this one? It's going to be the fault line. The mosh pit doesn't quite break it. Not enough damage. Zeppa. Full run around and entertainment from 2. One player left to stand out through the back, and he can just stick this one all the way. Half on it. Why not wait it out? And that was the best chance that Cloud9 had in a long while.
What the fuck?
And G2 still found their way to come around behind and Leaf again with the
Setup
ultimate
तो
getting
मेरा
outrageous
रहेगा
value.
शायद.
C9 did not know whether they wanted to fight that, whether they wanted to punish the lockdown. It looked like Oxy was trying to find a timing, he just couldn't quite. And just to correct myself, as what I was talking about with Oxy before, he ended the first half on 17 kills. He currently has 18. That was the only kill he's got on the attack side. I mean, talk about G2 stopping a superstar player from getting value on one half of the map.
Yeah, they've done it again.
That is exactly what defined the last time that these two teams matched up. And the only attack side where Oxy's been able to do anything, he was playing Reyna.
देखो तो S+ tier में है.
Just out of the radius.
Raise भी है.
That kill.
ओमेन भी है.
Game plan happy to give up the front section of A with this rebel control.
ये सब.
Someone's got to change over Cloud9.
I think one of the problems
बाकी
too is with
सारे
the double initiator compositions, C9 are playing as a
A
blob
tier
a lot. This time they
और
insert
Deadlock
Vanity
Lund
over
tier.
towards Rubble. G2 have gone for reclear strats over towards Rubble, but only I think once. It looks like they might be going for it again. If the Prowler finds anything, it did not.
यार
Vanity
PC
is safe.
text please यार कल पूछना यार.
Look at the layers to it.
मेरे mods सो रहे.
Vanity just got caught by the haunt though. I
Gautam
think
bhai.
going towards A, and now he's being hunted.
Down. Might have to commit some util at least. No.
मेरे description में है शायद.
Moose got that ground still. Look at that double
या
face.
फिर exclamation mark PC specs डालेगा तो मिलेगा शायद.
Yeah, making sure that they can't cause any sort of unfortunate issues. Later down into the line here, over towards the A side.
Bora.
So Cloud9 want to go.
मेरे को पता था.
G2 are rapidly once
मैं
more.
देख रहा था mods है कि नहीं chat
Flood
में.
attempt might be on the cards.
चलो सुबह के 5 बजे mods है. Very
There is an
nice.
aftershock. We'll push them forwards. Oxy up and above the ropes. He wasn't set up for an easy fight there. Zephyr has to stick to plan. He was out of the fight while that was occurring, and still, how did Cloud9 hold on? They've lost control of the site. The positioning is no longer theirs. Fault line seeking to redeem themselves. Horns over the top, and Rooney at least with the damage, and that flank attempt.
Viper
wrapping
लेकिन
around
sound
Vanity.
कर क्या
It's
रहा
his
है?
job to contain. Finds it. One to the dome, enough to shut down Jonah P.
Spam
Now
पड़ेगा
two
क्या?
left to stand here for G2.
पड़ा.
Maybe
मेरे को
it's still
लगा ही
once
था
more
बेटा.
Vanity. Already with a spot revealed. Rooney toppled Vanity. It's his own making. The smoke toppled into his face just so he can get that free line of sight with the spam down. Aun, but Leaf dominates the angle. And a 12
भाई
round
8
is what
4
G2
से
are up to.
8 भाई 2 knife नहीं करना था.
What a comeback from G2 this has been. But for C9, they can't win,
Huh?
even when they have advantages, even when they're set up. That's a 3v2 with triangle crossfires all over the place. It feels like a classic
I
C9
feel
joke.
up Amba Bottle,
It really
Gold by
does.
Rega will make crazy score for
Because they're
content.
getting
5 man का
themselves
थोड़ी है, 4
into
man है.
spots they just can't convert, and they're losing so many important, crucial fights.
One by good morning
Trent
यार,
just
good
barreled
morning.
through them. And that is so much frustration on Emmy's face.
लेकिन सीनन वैसे भी क्वालिफाई है ना
streak
शायद,
of teal
मतलब वो लोग
in
का
the
एक ही मैच
timeline.
जीतने का शायद से वो भी.
There's no stopping them.
ना?
G2 with that hyper
वो लोग
discipline
5-1
and
है.
out of crossfire set up as that stun connect spam.
ज़्यादा beating नहीं
Valin
होना चाहिए.
tried to maintain his composure, tried to play it cool, but eventually the bullets did the job.
That's a huge advantage. Like paranoia gone,
बहुत
smoke's gone,
जल्दी
none of that
advantage
available
मिला
for
है.
any potential retake. You have breach ult to get into a site. Keep it cool.
Leveled up by G2, they want to try to contact peek into this one. Oxy's found, Dizzy, Molly at the feet, they want to commit! Vulnerability
By
applied.
heavy.
And Vanity barely survives.
Heavy spit, heavy.
They kept Rooney alive, and they've got good information from Moose's ult. They know that they're spread around here. Trent should be hit by the breach ult. I mean, they might not want to commit to this as well. They've still got 50 seconds.
So with a nightfall. Only with one connection as well. And Flash is too deep! Two damn teams. Still Rooney's there with a connection
क्या
in the
लगता है
trade.
Leaf निकालेगा?
In a 1v2. Damage to the Vanity. Still with the ult. Into this post! And that's how it ends! Finish like that! Impeccable with the timing. G2!
एक राउंड ने जीते
taking the
हुए
series
अटैक
away
में.
like that. In a
एक राउंड ने जीते हुए अटैक में बीच 2 नाइफ नहीं करना था. लेकिन कोई सीन नहीं भाई. सीनन के पास बहुत ज्यादा लीड है, मतलब 5-1 है वो लोग. अभी 5-2 है. वो लोग का एक मैच जीतने का है किसी से भी चैंपियंस क्वालिफाई करने के लिए शायद. सो दे आर इन अ वेरी गुड लीड, सो इट डजंट मैटर. मतलब इट डज मैटर बट स्टिल इट डजंट मैटर वाला सीन है. चलो, that is it guys. Bye. Adios, schedule में adios. Take care. Good night. See you tomorrow. मिलते हैं. थोड़ा लंबी स्ट्रीम करेंगे कल मोस्टली. ठीक है. चलो बाय. गुड नाइट. थैंक यू फॉर वाचिंग द स्ट्रीम. बाय बाय. मिलते हैं. C9 स्टिल ओपी. G2 लेकिन बाप केला. बहुत टाइम बाद ऐसे G2 देखने को मिला बे. बहुत टाइम बाद. सच्ची अच्छा लगा. बहुत टाइम बाद ऐसा G2 देखने मिला. लास्ट टाइम इतना अच्छा नहीं खेला था. मजा आया G2 को देख के. चलो बाय बाय एवरीबॉडी.